Namaste, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across the planet around the world. My name is In Lakech Alakin. I am another you, and welcome to I Am Another website. So you can call me Greg if you want. I got to show you guys this. Act surprised when you see it, as if you've never seen this before. But this is the In5D YouTube channel. And we did a chat yesterday for like 5 hours almost. And it still hasn't shown up on In5D. Yet it still has gotten 1,140 views. I don't know how, if nobody's able to see it, but that's where we're at there. Just quick, bring you over to In5D Quantum Tie-Dye. If you would like to support our channel and the Zoom format, please consider making a purchase of a t-shirt. We have lady sizes, all sorts of ice dyes and different colors, sizes. It's really easy to find whatever you're looking for. Just go right here. We got the ladies, tank tops, unisex. For me, this is, I would go for the extra large, and bam, brings you right there to the extra large pages where it's still sitting and spinning. My computer's running slow. Gosh, I'm lagging horribly tonight. I hope it's not gonna, oh, Mercury retrograde, right? But yeah, it should bring us there. There we are, extra large. Got the beacons of light, the ice dyes, and all sorts of different cool shirts. This one's a new one. These, like the ones on top are the newest ones. So please check that out if you'd like to help support this channel. That's in5d.net instead of in5d.com. And also we have our Patreon page. Oh, I want to mention too, to Gary, Tuttle, and Phil, your shirts went out today, so should get them ASAP. And speaking of Patreon, where we're at right now, I want to welcome Gary Tuttle to our Patreon family. So anyone that would like to help support our page through Patreon, it's greatly appreciated. So you can start at the 111, 555, 1111, different tiers. I've explained these every night, and I appreciate those who have signed up and joined in with us. Let's take a peek at the Schumann resonance right now. What we can see, once again, we're seeing this pattern right here. We see the 7.83. the heartbeat of Mother Earth right here. Okay, but we're also seeing that doubling effect going on at 16 and then 24, the tripling of that going on. So we're seeing, it's as if the veils are lifting. We're seeing dimensions beyond dimensions. And you can almost view this as a frequency fence as well. Like the picket fence kind of thing going on. The veil is lifting, so exciting. So today, on my way to mailing off the shirts, I'm on Clark Road. Clark Road here in Sarasota is 3 lanes, and I'm in the middle lane at a stoplight, right? Light turns green, I hit the gas, car goes nowhere. I realize I'm out of gas. People behind me are beeping their horn. And finally, the traffic gets out to a point where it slows down, where I can push my car across the intersection to a parking lot. And here I am pushing this, whatever, 3-ton car after, less than 6 months after having a heart attack. But I made it. And as I was almost there, some guy got out of his car and helped me push it like the last 20 feet. And I'm so grateful for that. But I got there, and I ended up buying, there was a gas station across the street, fortunately. So I bought a gallon of gas and put gas in it, and I'm good to go. I ended up filling my tank full of gas. But I always look at, okay, why did that have to happen? Okay. And so I looked it up. a car running out of gas. Well, obviously you're drained, and which is true, because when I got home after running my chores, I fell asleep for like 2.5 hours, completely drained. So yeah, I get that. And then other meanings of that is you need to relax, recharge, and regain strength. Yeah, that's true. So what I need to do is really go to the beach. It's going to be cold out the next few days. Screw it. I'm going to the beach, and I'm just going to relax, meditate, maybe play some bocce. The beach will be empty because it's cold. But once again, ultimately, what does it mean? The same message I constantly get when I'm driving my car. It couldn't be any more clearer this time. Slow down. So it's a beautiful message. Slow down. Observe what's around you. So I stopped at at Publix to buy a watermelon. And I don't know if you guys knew this about watermelon. Well, it's really not the time of the year to buy them. It's hard to find. And what they have at most places are those personal size, those little mini watermelons. But I asked the clerk, I said, hey, do you guys have any watermelons, large watermelons for sale? He goes, yeah, we do, in the back. Like, why would you put them in the back? Why don't you want to sell them? Anyway, he asked me, well, what would you like? I said, I'd like one. And he goes, would you like one that's more yellow or? And I never thought about that. What the difference is between a more yellow one and one that isn't. But he said that it gets more sunshine. It might be sweeter. I'm like, yeah. And I told him to get a round one. Round watermelons are females. Oblong ones are males. The oblong ones tend to be more watery, and the round ones tend to be sweeter. So, depending on your preference, I prefer the female watermelon. So that's what he ended up getting me. And I threw that in the refrigerator. So I can't wait to dive into it. I like a cold watermelon. So looking forward to that. What else do we have? I drew a couple cards beforehand. I pre-shuffled and I put that intention in on what is the best card for us as a group. What's in our greatest group's highest and best intentions. So once again, I used the John Holland Spirit Messages cards and the Diana Cooper Angels card. So we'll do the John Holland card first, and it was New Beginnings. So there's a lot of people out here that are already, I know that from what we've talked about. It was like such a cool card that, let me just read it. Everything in life is constantly vibrating and moving, and therefore continuously changing and evolving. Be aware that a new beginning is on the horizon. Have courage and faith, because right now life is trying to nudge you forward and move you in a new direction. So many of us are experiencing this. We've talked to a lot of people who are, in the process of moving right now. And what that constantly means is we're moving energy. That's what we're doing. We're moving energy from here to there, and it's needed right now. I moved energy today. I'm what you call comfortably cluttered. You can walk into my house, you can throw your feet on my table. I don't care. It's not going to look like a museum in here. I kind of try to keep it feng shui, but it's definitely not going to look like a museum, but it's comfortable. But sometimes it gets overly cluttered and I just say, screw it. And I got that bug today, and I went through and I moved energy. So that's what we're doing. We're moving energy. New beginnings are going on right now. We feel like, many of us feel like we're on the verge of something huge right now. And perhaps This is the new beginning that we've been waiting for. Now, in the Angels of Light cards, Diana Cooper cards, I drew light. It's another beautiful card for us. Light illuminates darkness and gloom, bringing hope and inspiration. Ask the angels to fill you with more light, for it contains spiritual information and knowledge. These are keys to the universe and bring love and peace, as well as unlocking the wisdom within you. You will radiate brightly and become a beacon, reminding others of the divine help available. Angel wisdom suggests you ask the angels to ignite and strengthen the divine flame within you. Beacon of light. That's funny. I was just showing you guys that. Those Beacon of Light shirts on n5d.net. So what I want you to do right now is just inhale through your nose deeply. Exhale. And on your next breath in, envision you're bringing in light and holding it, all right? Inhale and hold it. Exhale. Whenever I do that, I can feel the crown chakra tingle. You can feel the light coming in. Try to do that every day. Okay. One thing, I want you guys to grab a pen and a piece of paper, okay? This is going to be fun. I'll give you a second. Grab a pen and a piece of paper. I'm curious because we can talk about this afterwards. But what we're going to talk about, what we're going to do is 30 signs that you are wired differently than normal people. For each one that you agree to, give yourself a little check mark. So here's number one. If you guys are ready, I'm going to have a sip of water first. It's going to be fun. Number one, you have exceptional intuitive abilities. Your intuition seems heightened versus most normal people. You can sense and feel things before they happen. If that's you, give yourself a 1. And like I said before, with the new beginnings card, we feel like we're on the brink of something huge. That's an intuitive ability. You feel it. So give yourself 1, a little 1 right there. Number 2, you have body markings that resemble star maps. You may have what appear to be constellations on your body. While some may resemble constellations that are familiar to most people, others have ones that are not familiar to anyone other than you. So I have a friend, many of you know her, Michelle. She has Orion's belt on her body in several different places. Actually, she had it in multiple places and she got it removed, and they just keep coming back. So Orion's belt was, hers. If you have those kind of body markings that resemble star maps, I have a star map of the universe on my back. That's what I feel like. So give yourself another point. Number 3, you look and feel younger than your physical age. Your DNA is wired differently and your body easily resists the aging process. Most people would have a hard time guessing your actual age. If your genetic coding caused you to bald, your eyes will still look youthful. I remember one time when I was bartending, and this guy came in and he was bald on the top of his head. And I carded him. He goes, "Really?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Why?" And he gave me his license and he had just turned 21. He goes, why? Why did you card me? I said, your eyes. Your eyes are young. You can tell a lot by somebody's eyes. So yeah, if you look or feel younger than your physical age, give yourself a point. Number 4, you have unusual sleep patterns. You may experience interrupted sleep throughout the night or have unusual sleep cycles versus most people. I've told you guys about this one. I have this unusual sleep anomaly where I instantly go into the dream stage. So, and what happened was I went and had a sleep study done because I had sleep apnea due to my weight. And that's what they found out. They said that instantly I go into the dream state and I stay there all night. The stage after the dream state is the one where you get the deep sleep and it's the most healing for your body. I get 0. I don't get any. And I don't know if you've ever done that where you catch yourself nodding off like that. I can have a dream that feels like it lasted 3 hours in that time period. It's bizarre. And that's why I personally feel that our dream stage is much more real than our third dimensional reality. So if you are, this is number 4, if you have unusual sleep patterns, give yourself a point. Number 5, synchronicities happen on a daily basis. Everyone can give themselves a point on that one. Synchronicity might be as simple as seeing numbers such as 555, 1111, 333 nearly every day, or some other synchronistic occurrence. So that pretty much happens. What I noticed too is, and I've been pointing this out to people, and if you're new to this channel, you're going to hear it for the first time, but you'll start noticing it probably, maybe tonight, but probably tomorrow. Whatever your birthday is, let's say it's October 5th, you're going to see 10:05 on the clock, or you're going to get $10.05 worth of gas or something, receive $10.05 in change. Your birthday will come up a lot more often than now that you're aware of it. Okay. So pay attention to that. Number 6, you go in and out of worlds. At times you feel like you're living in a completely different reality. Here's a simple example. Have you ever gone to the grocery store and seen a bunch of zombie-like people walking around? You look into their grocery carts and there's a bunch of junk food and lower vibrational items in there. They walk around in a daze and their eyes look lifeless. All of a sudden you make eye contact with an awakened soul and you give a gentle exchange of smiles. This can also go much deeper when you feel like you're in an altered reality without the use of illicit substances. So going in and out of worlds without those substances. If you ever done that, give yourself another point. Number 7, you have adverse reactions to big pharma. Some medications will do the exact opposite. Adderall did that for me. Adderall is an amphetamine, but I could take one and easily fall asleep an hour later. These are the types of signs to look for when you know you're wired differently than others. I was diagnosed with ADHD as an adult. I remember looking back on my report card in grade school, and every quarter on the back of my report card, it said fails to pay attention. I remember daydreaming, looking out the window. And one time when I was in 4th grade, I was humming and just kind of toning one time, and the teacher called me out on it. I was bored, incredibly bored. But have you ever noticed all the side effects of big pharma medications? Why are there side effects? Because the body's rejecting them as a viable solution. And so as a side note, I did eliminate the ADHD through meditation, eliminating the clutter in the brain. So if you have ADHD, you can do the same too. So if you have adverse reactions to big pharma, give yourself a point. Number 8, you can remember at least one past life. One of mine came to me in a dream. I've given you guys that link several times, and it's in this article. I'll put the link to this article in the more info section. I was a Mayan elder during the Spanish Revolution. They threatened to kill me unless I converted to Christianity. I agreed to do so, but I lied. and ended up sharing my knowledge with the youth in my extended family. This is probably why I have a disdain for organized religion. I came in with that pre-knowing about organized religion. So it's interesting. We were talking yesterday with Chris about his Scandinavian, I believe, heritage. And he was having a hard time understanding how he could be Egyptian, perhaps, with his attraction to Anubis and Orion's belt. But I'm not Mayan. I am part Spanish. The irony, because they came and invaded Mexico during the Spanish Inquisition. But ironically, in a past life, I was that. I was the Mayan. I was the person that my lineage invaded, my genetic lineage in this incarnation. It's bizarre. Number 9. You guys can give yourself a check for this one. You have a connection to UFOs and extraterrestrials. So I think basically we all are ETs. You know, if you look at it, what if every language, what if every ethnicity came from a different planet and their language was their light language, right? So yeah, I think pretty much everybody falls in that one. Okay, number 10, you're able to learn information in the spiritual, esoteric, and metaphysical genre easily and at an exponential rate. So if you easily absorb this kind of information and wish that this was the type of information that we learned in school instead of learning state-sponsored propaganda, give yourself a point. You see other things. Number 11, you see other things that other people, you see things that other people cannot see. That could include entities, spirit guides, ghosts, shadow people. If you ever have orbs, yeah, if you've ever seen those things, give yourself a point. Number 12, you have contact with your spirit guides, guardian angels, etc. I've told you the story many times about my spirit guide, Tamara, who her name means palm tree, and that's why I always smile, and that's why I'm here in Florida. I was from New York, always thought I was a California guy trapped in a New York body, but as it turned out, I'm a Florida guy that was trapped in a New York body. But yeah, Tamara means palm tree, so that's my affinity. And she came to me, and I'm so grateful that I had that opportunity to meet one of my spirit guides. So if you've ever had contact with your spirit guides, guardian angels, give yourself a point. Number 13, you're a natural healer. Chances are in a past lifetime, you were a healer, and these abilities carried over from that or those past lifetime or lifetimes. My ex-wife, Bella, she taught me quantum touch healing. And what that is you rub your hands together and you envision this ball of energy and you place it on the person, perhaps if they have a pain or whatever, place it on that person. And you put those loving thoughts and intentions into it. And so I remember one time my German Shepherd, Bogey, was acting up. And I don't know where my wife was at the time, but my daughter and I were about ready to have dinner. So I think my wife was working that evening. So like I said, Bogey's running around, he's acting up, and I go like this. Britt's at the dinner table and I'm right next to it. I go like this and I rub my hands together. I envision that ball of energy and I place it on Bogey's head. I kid you not, my daughter is my witness. Bogey dropped down to the ground, laid down, and closed his eyes. And Brittany goes, "Oh my God, Daddy, you killed him." I go, "You're next." I was just kidding, but she goes, "Daddy, no." Of course not, but yeah, it's funny. So if you have, let's see, where did we live? Natural healer, that was number 13. So let's Let's go to number 14. You have allergies and food intolerances. So your body has a difficult time adjusting to planet Earth, especially with the inception of GMOs. Where you're from, you've never experienced these allergies and food intolerances. But you see other people with them and wonder why you're different from the rest. Now you know why. You're wired differently. And if you have allergies and food intolerances, give yourself a point. Okay, so number 15, you're discovering newly found abilities. The more you delve into your spiritual progression, the more you discover new abilities that you've had your entire life, but are just starting to master. That might be something as simple as seeing an aura. Everybody can do that. You just got to teach yourself how. So if you have discovered newly found abilities, give yourself a point. Number 16, you've seen beings from other dimensions or galaxies. Some people have the ability to physically see multi-dimensional beings and or extraterrestrials. If you're one of those people, give yourself a point. Number 17, you feel that Earth is not your home. Everyone probably feels that. You love being on Earth and you work to serve her, but you feel like this is not your home. You may feel a greater connection to the Pleiades, Arcturus, Andromeda, etc., Lyra. So if you feel that Earth is not your home, give yourself a point. Number 18, you volunteered to come to this planet. Like Dolores Cannon mentioned in the 3 waves of volunteers, many of us came here. We volunteered to come here because Earth was sending out an SOS, a distress call. I volunteered. Did you? If you did, give yourself a point. You physically see orbs. Many times we see orbs on film, but do you physically see them without the camera? I remember one time I saw this orange orb shoot up my staircase, and not only did I see it, but my German Shepherd saw it. Bogey, once again, my second German Shepherd, he saw it as well, because while I was watching it go up the steps, his head was doing the same thing. So we both saw that orb. So if you've ever physically seen orbs without the camera, give yourself a point. Number 20, you're clumsy. As multidimensional beings, you might not be used to this flesh earth suit that we all call the physical body. It has a lot of mass, and sometimes this mass causes clumsiness. So yeah, I am clumsy. It's kind of like, what I was saying about talking. For me, it'd be a lot easier to send out a big hologram, and you guys would have already had this article and you'd already have your totals down on how many that you can relate to. But we got to do it this old-fashioned third-dimensional way of orating, speaking our words. So yeah. Anyway, if you're clumsy, give yourself a point. You're a master manifester, number 21. This is becoming easier and easier to do as we enter the 4th dimension. Many of us can manifest the best parking spots in any parking area. If you're a master manifester, give yourself a point. Number 22, you receive messages and or downloads from Creator Source. The messages are always perfect and divine. Well, while we all have this ability, not everyone listens, right? Because we're all getting signs every day. Like today, with the car running out of gas. Universe keeps telling me, slow down, slow down. Okay, we're going to take away all your gas. How do you like me now? So if you're receiving messages and or downloads from Creator Source, give yourself a point. Number 23, you feel somewhat awkward speaking. And this is what I was just talking about. So where you're from, telepathy is your normal way to communicate, or in my case, sending out just a hologram and it says everything. It almost seems laborious to even try to talk. They say a picture says 1,000 words. where you're from, you could send someone a hologram to someone else, and that would speak volumes of information with just one simple thought form. So if you feel awkward, somewhat awkward speaking like I do, give yourself a point. 24, you've experienced bouts of vertigo. You may be experiencing vertigo as your body upgrades with the influx of incoming energies. So these energies kind of affect your body rhythm and kind of may throw things off. So if you have experienced those bouts of vertigo, give yourself a point. Number 25, your body temperature is below normal. I have an article on N5D. It's called, Are You Experiencing Strange Body Temperature Anomalies? And my body temperature, let's see. I'm just going to read this one part. In mid-December 2017, I had what many are calling ascension flu, and I documented that my body temperature every day. My temperature spiked as high as 103.1, which is 39.5 Celsius on the 19th, but by the 22nd, it was below 98 degrees. It was at 36.7 Celsius and has remained there ever since. The lowest it's been since December 22nd was 97.1, 36.1 Celsius, and the highest was 97.8, 36.5 Celsius. A normal body temperature is 98.6. And to this day, I could take my temperature right now and guarantee you that it's below normal. It's below 98.6. After several weeks of noticing this anomaly, I made a post on Facebook asking people to take their temperatures. And the results was exactly as I suspected. The vast majority of people actually had body temperatures that were below normal. So you might have to take your body temperature right now or at the end of this. So we still have 5 more to go, but you can take your temperature after that. And if your body temperature is below normal, give yourself a point. 26, you're a rebel or a nonconformist. Despite what the rest of the world says or does, you follow your own inner guidance, and the vibrations of truth, love, and light lead the way in everything you do. So it doesn't matter what other people say and stupid laws, and as long as you're not hurting yourself and other people, just let it go, right? That's the way I see things, at least. And that makes me a rebel and a nonconformist. So if you are either one of those, give yourself a point. 27, you're like a magnet to children. Children seem to gravitate to you as if they can see your aura field. You may find them staring at you and smiling for no reason. You'll find yourself smiling back at them as if to acknowledge their crystal indigo rainbow presence here on Earth. One time I was walking on the beach and a brother and sister were playing paddleball. She looked to be about 5 years old and he was about 4. He picked up the ball as I walked by and hit me in the back with it. I turned around and he was smiling as if to say, I made it here, Greg. Here I am. So yeah, if you're like a magnet to children, my daughter is the same way as me too. Give yourself a point. 28. You can give yourself a point for this one too. The element of time seems awkward. You may feel like time is speeding up or have the ability to live outside of time. You don't wear a watch and dislike schedules. You prefer winging it and spontaneity versus commitments to time and schedule. So if the element of time seems awkward, give yourself a point. Many of us can, 80% of us can give ourselves a point on this one. Number 29, you're an introvert. You tend to shy away from large crowds and prefer to observe others than joining in. In our society, 70% of the people are extroverted. In this genre, it's the other way around, where over 80% of our N5D readers are introverts. Why? Because introverts tend to go within for the answers and can do that in many ways, such as through meditation, through their higher selves, or simply researching a topic so much that they understand the root of the issue and can figure out the answers on their own. So if you are an introvert, give yourself a point. and last one, number 30. And if you can think of any other ones that are not on this list, bring it up. I'll open up the chat room here in a second. Number 30, your body temperature rises at night while you're sleeping. For most people, their body temperature drops when they're sleeping. But if you're wired differently, yours will rise. You may even sweat at night and choose not to wear any clothes to bed because of how hot your body gets at night while sleeping. So chances are most of you guys got a lot of those. So that was 30. And what I want you guys to do is either talk about it here on Zoom, how many you got out of 30, or in the YouTube chat, put down out of 30. Like Gary Tuttle saying 29 out of 30. That was me too. So the only one
out of 30, Gary. I mean, Greg.
What'd you get?
29 out of 30. The only one I didn't get was birthmarks.
Hang on. There we go. Had a lot of static there. Was the earth markings okay?
Yep, 29 out of 30. No birthmarks for me.
Looks like there's some
Another 29. I had 29 out of 30. And hang on, I've got a lot of, someone's got a lot of chatter going on. Yeah, I'm trying to, I didn't have one of them myself. And although it was a close one, it was, I think it was seeing the ability to see extraterrestrials or multidimensional beings. Although, you know, I did see my spirit guide in a dream. So I don't know if that counts or not. It's close, but I didn't give myself a point for it. So I gave myself 29 out of 30. And looking in the chat room right now on YouTube, Classic Alley Cat, 29, 28 for Debbie, 27 for Jason, 21 for Stephanie, Jackie, 29 for Kayla, 29 for Barbara, 29 for Tamara, 20 for Thomas, 25 for Terry, 23 for Daisy, 30 out of 30 for Mandy. Yeah, nice. Judy got 29, Martha 29, Wanda 29. Nice. All right, what about the rest of you here on Zoom? How many did you guys get?
19.
19 is good.
29.
Nice. What'd you get, Mary?
Hey, welcome. So good to be back. I got 29. I've never seen an orb that I know of.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah.
Watch it happen tonight, right?
That would be interesting. I'll
Yeah.
let you know.
So it's fascinating. Let's talk about some of these things. Okay, let's go through and let's pick out a few. Okay, so just about everyone has exceptional intuitive abilities. What abilities do you guys have? Come on. Come on.
So sometimes I have dreams, but I'm in like it's like in that show Being John Malkovich. I'm seeing there's someone else's life that's not mine, nor a previous life of mine. Haven't
That's
quite figured it all out yet, what it means, or but I think it has to do with like dream, being able to enter dreams and stuff. So, but it's still a new thing. It's happened recently, so it's a little weird, I guess.
Yeah, it's almost, it makes me wonder whether, you know, it's a fractal, if it's a parallel universe, if it's, there's so many things it could be, but I mean, you have to go within and figure out exactly what it might be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. We're going to find that, you know, a lot of people are developing abilities quicker, faster, and easier. You know, like I said, you know, to see an aura is so simple. It's so easy to do. Anyone can do it. I've got an article on N5D that people can go to for for that. Just even intuition, gut discernment, you know, that's an ability. So, okay, who has body markings that resemble star maps? Come on, anyone? You can, don't be shy. Yeah, I have like the universe on my back. I
Carry
admit
the
it.
universe on my back.
Good, good. It's, don't be embarrassed about it. It is you. It's what makes you you, unique. You as in unique. Number 3, you look and feel younger than your physical age. I feel younger. I don't know about looking, but I feel it.
You look younger.
No, thank you. It's funny because, you know, I do turn 60 this year, and I remember when I was a kid. When I was a kid, my parents and and I'm not saying just kid, I'm saying like, you know, 17, 18 years old, people that were my age then, they look like they were 70. You know, but people in their 40s and 50s look like they were 70 back then. I don't know. Things have changed. People look younger nowadays, I think. And maybe it is part of our DNA changing, but you know.
Everybody looks young to me, Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's heart and divine spark is super old, but super
I feel
beautiful.
like if you watch those movies from like, I don't know, 60s, 70s, and even the 80s, the teenagers in those teenage movies, they look like 20-year-olds these days.
Mm-hmm.
The 20-year-olds, you know, look younger these days too. It's weird. Everyone looked older back in the day, I think.
That's an interesting point you made there, Matthew. Yeah, I agree. Never thought about that one.
Well, for me, I can say something on this. I feel like I'm a 70-year-old woman in a 29-year-old or 28-year-old body. I feel old. Like, I don't feel like I'm young.
You're an old soul.
I feel like I've been through so much.
Right. Well, you have. Yeah. I mean, you spilled your
very
guts
weird.
yesterday.
Well, Des, you may have not, you know, this might be your first time here, and you're one of those volunteers, and your body is just, you know, adjusting to the difficulties here on Earth.
Yeah, but some of us are old souls. I mean, myself, I'm tired. I'm really tired all the time, and I've been tired most of my life. And it's like I was born tired, and I was born older than people around me. So yeah, it's interesting, you know, that
You're welcome.
it's just a process. And I'm sorry again, I'm interrupting. I'll shut up.
Apologize.
Probably
I'm going to
probably
rename
your
myself
last-
the interrupter. I think that's what my role is to interrupt.
probably one of your last go arounds here. You know, your soul is probably paid all its karmic debt and lessons, and you're here now. You know, it's the end of the road, which is
Well,
great. You're going to go home.
Who's the life path 9?
I'm a life path 5.
Okay.
I'm a life path
7.
8.
I'm also an 8.
What are you, Desiree?
7.
7? Okay.
But I think that, you know, what was just said is true, you know, that I feel that I have worked off a lot of karmic debt. I feel like I dragged a lot of karma into this incarnation with me, and this was my job to do that. And it's kind of paid back now. And again, I keep looking at people's icons up here instead of looking at the camera. So I'm sorry, I'm the next broadcaster. You'd think I'd know to look at the camera, but sometimes anyway, what I'm saying is, yeah, I feel
You
like
digress.
I'm here for a purpose. And, you know, like last night, man, I just got so much negativity. I had to bail. I'm an empath, and I don't have to be in the room with somebody. If we're talking on video chat, if we're talking on the phone, I feel their energy. And, you know, sometimes I just get drained. And last night I got really drained. I talked for a long time, more than I usually do, which, you know, wears out the throat. And it got to the point where it's like, look, dude, we can explain it to you, but we can't understand it for you. Just like people are trying to help you. Why don't you listen? You know, why don't you just listen? But again, here I am mouthing off. I'll go away.
Oh, please. Actually, I wonder if, was your mom, Gary, was your mom?
Did somebody just say, please go away to me?
No.
No.
That's what
No,
I
I
heard.
just
I heard
I
something
said, Gary,
like,
I was
Okay.
the one that said, please don't. But
okay.
I'm asking you though,
I'm used to making myself unwelcome in groups. So that's just, I never fit in anywhere. So even
Was-
here, it's like I'm starting to feel like I don't fit in. But
was-
I bet you do.
don't worry about that. Was one of your parents, I'm guessing your mom, was she passive aggressive?
My family, yeah. You know, it's like, I know I volunteered for everything that's happened to me, and I brought it all into my life, but I'm looking back on my life going, why did I do that? Why have I been sacrificing myself trying to help other people? And then when I need help, it seems like everybody just wants to get rid of it. So, you know, yeah, both my parents were very passive aggressive. My dad had PTSD from combat in Korea. Plus the fact that he had a younger brother die when he was 5 years old. Plus then his dad deserted him and ran off with another woman and started another family when my dad was 12. My mom grew up a coal miner's daughter. She was the one daughter in a family of 5 brothers, and her dad was a moonshiner, and he used to get drunk and chase her around the farm trying to kill her with a shotgun because he thought women were useless. So, you know, I don't really want to unburden on everybody with all this stuff, you know, but I'm just saying, I'm sorry if I've upset people. I really am. I don't want to do that.
No, I think it's just a matter of tracing down some of the things that are, because you keep saying I'm sorry, and I keep that's the first thing that comes to me, especially, you know, as a therapist. You know, it seems like
I really don't think that, you know, I do have low self-esteem. I got, you know, I admit it now. It's something I've just really realized, you know, in the last several months, looking back on the patterns of my life leading up to here, you know. The energy vibrations are coming in. I mean, I can physically feel them. I mean, my arms, both my arms are tingling all the time now. And also now my chest is starting to tingle. You know, I mean, I feel this energy coming in, and everybody's path is different. And I guess what I'm doing is I'm just kind of going, oh man, you know, I've had this wonderful meat skeleton that I was supposed to be driving around here in this 3D experience, exploring things. And I kept myself from doing that because I somehow was afraid that I was making a mistake. And you know, when you're raised to be a perfectionist, it can get to you, you know? I mean, good grief, man. When I was in elementary school, I was pulling straight A's every report card, you know, and all my buddies were like, well, I get paid $1 for every A I make. And my parents would like punish me if I didn't make straight A's, you know, that kind of thing. So, you know,
have you forgiven your parents?
I'm old, and I'm confused a lot. What can I say? You know, plus I'm an old guy, you know, I'm 62. It's not like I'm a spring chicken, you know.
Maybe.
Have you forgiven your parents?
I'm sorry, what?
Have you forgiven your parents?
Yes, I just, you know, last night after I got upset and I started thinking about why, you know, because when you get upset, when you get angry, what that is that's either hurt, frustration, or fear coming out. And you're just expressing your hurt, frustration, and fear. And I was, you know, that's what I do when I get angry, because, you know, I just don't understand this place. You know, things don't make sense here to me. You know, I mean, I believe fairness. I believe that everybody should have a fair chance, you know, to do whatever they want to do. But it's like, it seems like everybody is so concerned now with this doing what they're supposed to do, you know, like what I have to do by law. Okay. Like I'm a doctor, I have to treat you. But after that, you're just a number. Once you walk out the door, you're nothing, you know? And it's like, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but
we all have a chance, man. It's just we're all dealing with a lot of really bad programming. You know, you say you had situations growing up I did. I'm sure a lot of people here did.
You know, I mean,
And-
everybody's had boo-hoo-hoo things happen to them. And I can't use what happened to me when I was a kid now as a defense mechanism to keep from engaging in the world, you know? Because, I mean, up until recently, I thought people were not good. You know, I thought that majority of people were just not good because I see all these terrible things happening, people doing terrible things to each other, you know? I mean, like, stuff like that. And then, I just don't know, you know, right now I'm in a confused state, but for instance, I even brought my card deck. I have this card deck that I've been using. It is Beacons, Keepers of the Light with Kyle Gray. And then the illustrations are done by somebody else. But this is it's not like, you know, Christian. It has every religion. It has Aboriginal stuff. It has stuff from, you know, antiquity, things like that. And the card that I pulled was Mahavatar Babji, and it says soul expansion. It says I'm starting to understand the connections between everything. And that's what I keep trying to say, you know, is that we're all connected, and that if you hurt somebody else, you're actually hurting yourself, you know? I mean, in the long run, if you hate somebody else, you're hating yourself. So, but this is just so foreign to the programming that I grew up in, you know? I mean, come on. I mean, I was the first generation that was babysat with televisions, you know? Instead of actually taking care of the kids, the parents would just sit them down in front of the TV and turn on cartoons, you know? That was my upbringing, you know? So anyway, everybody looks so sad right now. And I'm just trying to say, you know, that, you know, I try to apologize for bludgeoning in and, you know, bursting out with words, but sometimes when people are talking, it clicks in my head and I just have to, the word just has to come out somewhere. So that's what I do, but.
Okay, Gary, you know, yeah, last night after you got off, you know, I think 30 minutes later, Desiree got off and I got off too. And Gregg acknowledged that to us when we got back on. But, you know, I had to go for a walk last night, halfway through the show.
All the energy.
And Desiree, I think she got off Zoom and just stayed on the YouTube chat, but we eventually came back. So, you know, seriously, don't beat yourself up over it, because we all felt it last night too. So
okay, I mean, I just want to know that I'm not, you know, coming off of this, you know, you folks are the only people that understand kind of like how, you know, how things are, and I click with you guys, you know. I feel like you're my family right now because I don't really have anything else right now.
Hey, Gary.
Yeah.
We love you, brother. We're all here for you, man. Much love,
appreciate it, man.
for you, brother.
You know, I appreciate it because it's all about love. That's the thing. I've really, I mean, that's what my, you know, my messages keep slamming into me, is that, you know, it's been preached to us from antiquity. Love each other as you love yourself, you know, do unto others as you would have done unto you. And it's just so simple if you can do it, but all this conditioning and the programming we have and the way we're built to respond, you know, and I mean, like, this incarnation, I know I've had many lives. In this incarnation, I'm masculine, but I know I've been female, I've been animal, I've been everything, you know? I mean, I think we experience it all eventually. And we've gone through this great, wonderful cycle where we're moving into the golden age. And, you know, I still have so much work I feel like I have to do just to shed all the old baggage, you know, that I don't want to, we can't drag it with us into 5D. I mean, a question I have, when we get to 5D, are we going to have gender? Does it really matter anymore?
No. No.
Okay, well then, you know, that kind of, that's telling me that, you know, I kind of missed the boat, because I think I was here to explore a lot of the gender issues, you know, because I got to tell you something. I know I've lived as a woman in a previous life or two, but in this lifetime, you know, like most men, I'm completely clueless, like how the differences between the two brains work, you know, and I'm all about equality. And if somebody wants to think that, you know, just because they don't feel very masculine today, maybe they can be feminine today and wear a dress or whatever, more power to them, you know. But when you get down to the biology of it, there's the masculine and the feminine energy, and it was built that way for a reason. And here I am, good Lord, just taking off again. Here we go. Okay, sorry.
There's a reason why you're
Racing
speaking.
thoughts, you know, racing
A
thoughts.
lot of
I
people,
just
a
gotta,
lot of
every now
people
and
are
then, I just
enjoying
gotta
this.
shut up and listen to you guys, because I don't want to talk all night. I want to listen, because, you know, when I'm talking, all I'm doing is telling you what I think. I want to know what you guys think. I need to shut up and listen. That's what I want to do, you know?
Have you ever done your karmic debt or karmic lesson at all,
I'm
Gary?
sorry, what?
Your karmic lessons or your karmic debt, have you ever had that read? Or even online, they have calculators now for it.
I have actually found a metaphysical shop here in town. I've been in this city for 5 years, and I just found this place like 2 weeks ago. And I mean, they do tarot readings, they do aura photography and readings. And, you know, I do use pendulums. I do, you know, do dowels with pendulums. Before I make a big decision now, I ask my higher self, okay, do I need to be doing this? And usually I get an answer, you know? So, I mean, I've got to do that. And in April, I'm going to go to a Byron Weiss seminar in Philadelphia, where he's going to do past life regressions. And he's the guy that kind of broke the book open on that, making it more of a mainstream psychological phenomena that is accepted now, you know. I mean, it's not totally accepted, but basically, I mean, there's so much anecdotal evidence that reincarnation actually happens, you know, that there's no way you can deny it. And I'm gonna explore that, you know. But
That's awesome, because I think maybe that's where your next lesson is, and maybe where you're getting frustrated and is you have so much knowledge and you just want to keep learning and learning and learning. So I think past life regression stuff is really good. The reason why I brought that up was I've been kind of feeling the same way. And the other night I did my numerology chart, and then at the end it asked you to do your karmic lesson and karmic debt chart. So my karmic lessons, I have 0 for this lifetime, and my karmic debt, I have no karmic debt. So when I did my karmic lesson calculator, it said, this is very rare. You have no missing numbers in your name, which means you truly have unlimited potential and are on this earth for a reason. It's crucial that you dedicate at least part of your life to helping others. You have an incredible amount of good in you to share, and doing so will make the world a better place. Share your unlimited potential with the world. It needs it. So what that told me was, I was a volunteer. Either I've never been here or reincarnated here on this planet before, or I've gone through all those lessons in my previous lifetimes, went home, and then when World War II happened, I decided to come back. So I either been here and left and went through the school and said, well, I care for Earth, I'm going to come back, or I just never been here before and I decided to come in. Okay. That's why I think I'm having such a hard time with this energy shift and things like that. So
yeah, I mean, I slept 2 hours last night, and I've been up all day, and yeah, it's the same thing. But thank you for suggesting that, because I'm going to go look up some of those things. Because I mean, I think
it's easy. Yeah,
I mean, everything is electromagnetic energy. So what you do, like I read a lot of tarot decks off my iPhone, and they work perfectly because they're confirming what other decks are telling me. So thank you for that. I'm definitely going to look for that.
Yeah, you just Google karmic lesson calculator and karmic debt calculator. They're 2 separate things. My name is very long, and it literally says I have no numbers in my name, which is Matthew Paul Tucciaroni. I mean, alone, I think my last name has 10 or 11 letters in it. And even when I reduced my middle name just to the P initial, it still said I had no karmic lessons. So whatever your birth certificate is, type that name in. I believe that you definitely watch some past life regression stuff with Dolores Cannon. And I'm so happy that you're going to Philadelphia to do that past life regression, because I think you're going to find out more information than you already knew.
Well, actually, I've even got 3 of his CDs, meditation CDs, that are supposed to trigger that. And I know that Gregg has a past life regression meditation also. So I'm going to be hitting all of those, like, because I mean that's where I'm really being called now, because I mean, to me it's up here. I just can't get it out, you know, in a way that makes sense to anybody else. And that's scary when you've had an analytical mind your entire life, really, you know. I mean, and I look back now, and I mean, I remember incidents from when I was in diapers, which, you know, blows me away. Like, you know, a lot of traumatic things happened to me because of the situation that it happens to everybody. But again, I just want to say thanks to everybody, and you know, we're all in this together, and we've really got to be there for each other, because, you know, every now and then it feels like you take 1 step forward and 4 steps back. You know, right now that's kind of like where I'm at. But
You just said we got to be there for each other. And I understand that. Like last night, people bailed on Chris, and I get it. A lot of people are empathic. A lot of people are super empaths. Some of us are galactic warriors, and we're not going to bail, though. And I appreciate everyone that stayed, everyone that came back, and those that left. I totally get it. And nobody was wrong. Absolutely nobody was wrong in that situation. But some of us are like galactic warriors, where we have our hand out. I'm here for you, brother. I'm here for you, sister. Right now, my hand and everyone else's hand is out for you right now.
I get that. I feel it. I feel you guys, you know, I feel the energy. I feel what you're, I mean,
No one
I
gets left behind.
can feel it. You know, I can't read what you're thinking. I can't read the thoughts in your head, but your energy, the way you're feeling, positive, negative, always, I'm always able to tell that. I can walk in a room and I mean, oh my God, who died? You know, because it's like everybody's just so down, you know. And I mean, I get that, Gregg, and I thank you so much, man. I'm a warrior myself, you know. That's the thing, you know. There are some of us who have a function in a society to kind of be the sheepdogs, right? Because like most people, really, I hate to say it, they're just got their heads down and they're grazing on whatever's in front of them. You know, they don't look around. They're not aware of anything. Unfortunately, we all know there are the black hats out there. There's people with, you know, negative intentions, even though in the big scheme of things, they're serving the creator just like everybody else. There has to be the yin and yang. For every good, there has to be a bad or something. You know, that's how it works. But you just gotta, you know,
Pick up the book, The Light of
Reason. With you. I mean, like when I'm able to love and support and send positive vibes to somebody when they're in my face yelling at me, then I'll know that I'm there. But you know, I'm working at it, you know. And I mean, like the next time something like that happens, maybe when I encounter so much negativity, I'm just going to see, you know, okay, do the imagining, the white shielding thing, you know. I mean, visualization has always been my strong point. I can imagine anything, really. I mean, I can put myself in anybody's situation, and it's horrible sometimes, you know. But just knowing that we're all here supporting each other, that really helps. And
it's what we do. we don't bail. We're everyone. You got a ton of support. Everyone that's watching, listening, whether it's live or recorded, you have a ton of support right here.
I know I do, man. And you guys are awesome. You guys rock. Because like I said, Gregg, when I started on this path, you're the first thing. Your N5D page was one of the first things the universe brought me on Facebook. And I realized that I was getting messages through Facebook. So I started paying attention, you know, and it led to a lot of things. So you just got to keep your eyes open.
So I'm wondering if anyone has any cards that they want to do while it's an open forum today. If you have any oracle cards that you want to read for the room, that would be awesome. I know, Desiree, you have them. Everyone, I know, just everyone here has oracle cards, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So if you have some and want to do a reading, this will be fun. And just put that intention that it's for the group, for our greatest and highest good. Let's bring it on.
Give me a second.
I have them, but I'm in the middle of cooking, so.
Okay. All right. What are you cooking us? We're hungry.
Like porcupine balls with vegetables on the side.
What? Porcupine balls? Did I hear that
Yeah.
correctly?
Yeah.
Are those
It's hamburger with rice and tomato sauce.
okay? I thought it was. I was taking that literal.
What
And
my mom called it when she made it when I was little.
okay.
So
All right.
yeah, porcupine balls.
I'll pass. No, thank you.
I had a card flip.
Okay. Let me get you on.
So
When somebody's speaking, you make sure that no one else is else speaking, so you can see the cards. Okay, so you speak and floor is yours.
here's the card. You can see it. So I pulled from the dragon deck, and this is for the collective. Blue Dragon from Pleiades prepares you to accept source healing, accept a heart activation, give and receive heart healing. The Pleiades is the star cluster of healing. Between Source and the Pleiades, there are a blue etheric rose. It has 33 petals. For 33 is the vibration of the Christ light. The rose is a transformer through which pure source healing is downloaded to the masters of the Pleiades. They pass it at an appropriate frequency to the angels and dragons, who in turn shower onto those humans who are ready. The incredible seventh dimensional blue dragons from the Pleiades hold the rose in their hearts and radiate source healing. They whirl around us, pouring this blue heart healing into us as soon as we see we are ready. They activate and light up a high frequency blue rose in each of our 12 chakras, preparing our energy fields for the angels of the Pleiades to connect with us. Even then, they will remain with us so that we can easily hold the healing vibration of the blue rose and pass it on to others. A blue dragon from the Pleiades has come to you today to offer you healing by lighting up a blue rose in each of your chakras. Relax. Invite it to touch you and accept any energy it brings you. Alternatively, it may have sought you to suggest you give beautiful blue Pleiadian healing under the law of grace to others. If you wish to do this, tell it that you are ready, and it will activate a huge energetic blue rose in your heart so that you can direct source healing to a person or situation.
Well, I'm ready for that blue rose in my heart. Yeah, bring it on. Thank you.
Absolutely. I enjoy doing this.
I enjoy having people coming on here and giving their readings and sharing what they have, because somehow, some way, it's all going to come full circle for someone or many people. It's definitely, yeah. So if anyone else has some cards that they'd like to do, thank you, Gary, for that. They people in YouTube land, they're loving it too.
I have one.
Okay.
This is an old deck, and I haven't touched it in 10 years, so I had to warm it up a little. Remember Doreen Virtue?
Mm-hmm.
These were her cards, her issue cards. I don't know if you can see this. The card is, and I pulled it for everyone. It's divine timing. Can you see it? The little in the camera there.
Mm-hmm.
Angel cards they are.
Yes, I have them.
Okay. And that one is doors are opening and closing right now. I'll read it. I'll find it. Pay attention to doors that are opening and closing for you right now. Walk through doors that open and learn that the doors, that open, and learn from the doors that shut. This light doesn't help me read here. Your prayers are being answered. There's no doubt about that. However, everything operates according to the universal laws of divine timing. This means that certain pieces of the puzzle must fall into place so that other parts can come to fruition. If you try to skip or rush certain pieces or parts, the whole plan will lack a solid foundation. And it's interesting because I've been dreaming all week about open doors and closed doors. I thought that was kind of interesting that I pulled that card.
Also, you know, where you said don't rush in these things.
Don't rush.
You know, it's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's been my message. You know, like what I got today.
Yeah, the
From,
gas.
yeah, slow
Right.
down. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Doors opening and closing could also be portals.
Possibly, because one of the doors I opened, I invited some people in. So I opened the door and I said, come on inside. So, I mean, personally, that means to me that one of the things I work on is keeping my heart open, because I tend to be mental, keep
Mhm.
it up here.
Yes.
So work all the time, bringing it down to my heart and working those two things together. So I thought that was a good sign for myself.
That was
As you were
awesome.
reading that, I pulled a tarot card, and I believe this definitely goes along with what you were saying. Gregg, maybe for you too. In the Two of Pentacles, a young man dances while juggling 2 coins in his hand. The infinity symbol links the coin, suggesting that this man can handle unlimited problems so long as he manages his time, energy, and resources well. In the background, 2 ships sail the high seas, bobbing up and down on the huge waves, another sign that the ups and downs of life are manageable with focus and attention. So time, all about time and managing your resources.
Awesome.
Divine timing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to talk for the first time ever.
Okay, Carol, but let me just thank Mary and Matthew for chipping in there, and the floor is yours. It's all you, Carol.
Okay, I pulled a card out of the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Excuse me if my mouth doesn't work because I'm all of a sudden extremely nervous and I don't read well out loud as it is. So I have a piece of tape over.
That's better.
There. So there, can you guys see the card at all? I don't know if that's working.
You on a laptop?
Video.
I do.
You're on a laptop?
The light isn't on either. Oh, I have it off.
Yeah.
See how nervous I am?
You're doing fine. There you go. Hey, welcome. You made
Hi.
it. Hey, hi, Carol.
Hi.
There you are.
Okay, there's the card.
Okay.
Okay, it's called TikTok. And I was like, okay, this is good because we're all getting time stuff here. Timelessness, divine timing, immeasurable time. When humans created time, everything changed and contracted. All have come to look at life in a linear way, imagining that the past is behind them and the future ahead of them. But what if that isn't true at all? What if everything, creativity, beauty, chaos, and order were happening now in a glorious timelessness? You have all the time in the world to co-create the life you desire. So release your agenda. Let go of your need to shape each moment to your expectations, knowing that what is yours will never be withheld from you. Miracles are here right now and always show up when you need them, right on time.
Wow, that's beautiful. What an awesome card to make your introduction on.
Hi, everyone.
Miracles are here.
Hi.
And I mean, it's so funny how all these cards are like meshing and tying in with one another, because I had that one card that said new beginnings. Miracles are here. Bring it on. Let's do it. Bring it on. Yay. So that wasn't so bad, was it?
Yes, it was. It was horrible.
No, it wasn't. You did wonderfully. You did wonderfully. See,
Hard to read.
everybody on YouTube, see how easy that is? You guys can do it too. I'm going to put a link here in YouTube right now. Join us. Okay. So that was awesome. What do you got, Leon?
I pulled from my Oracle Mystical Shaman deck, and I got the rainbow card. And the essence of the card says the rainbow symbolizes the 7 steps of a true spiritual path, which manifest as the colors of the 7 chakras. In the Himalayas, the rainbow body is seen as the full realization of our essence. The rainbow also represents the bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds. At the end of our lives, we can journey across the rainbow bridge to the highest heavenly realms. When the rainbow appears, it is an affirmation that all is well and that you are in right relationship with spirit. And the invitation is the rainbow tells you that the end of the storm is near. Persevere. Remember that it is darkest just before the dawn. Do not give up hope. Things are about to take a positive turn. Listen in the morning rooster that announces the coming of the dawn, even while the night is still darkest. But do not claim victory yet or let your guard down fully. And then the medicine for it says, don't get caught in pursuit of the illusion of the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Find the treasure now in the moment by coming into right relationship with those around you. All your gifts are at hand, so obvious you may have missed them. Be true with your intentions and do not be led astray by daydreams. So basically staying in the moment.
Well, the first thing that really got thrown into my face on that one was the end of the storm is here. And that's part of the great awakening that's going on, the calm before the storm.
Absolutely.
And I predicted, on my New Year's Eve show that I believe by June, we're going to start seeing a lot of these unsealed indictments sealed indictments being unsealed.
Yes.
So yeah, the end of the storm is near, and don't give up hope. But yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
What did you interpret out of it?
What did I interpret out of
Or
it?
feel, or yeah.
Well, for me, it kind of hit home with last night, kind of just staying in the moment and recognizing your relationships, kind of what we were talking about tonight with the, with the gifts and being wired different. So having some gifts, are we realizing all of those? And then also staying in the moment and being happy about what's around us now,
Cool.
being grateful for everything we're doing. So that's kind of what I got from it.
They're digging it also on YouTube. So, and speaking of YouTube, a quick shout out to Phil once again. Thank you, my brother, for the super chat. I appreciate that. So I see Desiree, you're shuffling over there. What you got?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah, we do.
All right, so I have 3 decks here. So last deck that you pulled from, I have it, and I was holding it up like, yeah, whoever needs a deck, definitely go get this because this is amazing. This deck helps me out so much. It's called the Mystical Shaman Oracle Deck and Guidebook by Alberto Villoldo, and you can get it on Amazon for like $25 altogether. So get it. It's great. All right. So the first deck I'm pulling from is Angel Inspiration Deck by Kim Dreyer. She's one of my favorites. And the first card I pulled out is Heart Energy, which is Generosity Angel. And this angel is basically talking about the key words: generosity, charity, support. So support one another like you were talking about earlier. So angel of affection. Generosity comes in many forms, and in a modern society it is easy to feel one is being generous by giving financial gifts. Although at times organizations and people may require financial assistance, there are other ways to support them. Helping others does not always require you to dig into your pocket, but more importantly to dig into your heart. Assisting another human being can be as simple as sharing your time and energy. Look around you and find the areas in your life where you where you have a little bit more generosity, and then it can help heal and support a friendship, a family member, or any other family or a community. And if someone shows their generosity to you, accept it with gratitude and love and pass it a little bit on to others as well. So there's some questions here. So I want you to ask you guys to yourself. Do you generously give of yourself to those in need? Do you graciously accept generosity from others when offered to you? So here's some things that are telling you. I generously give myself to others who are in need of help, and I am grateful for all the generosity bestowed upon me. So that was one of the decks. And then the second deck
Wait.
is
I think
oh, sorry.
random acts of kindness would definitely fit into that. And I love the support thing because we are all here for
It was after from last night too. So
yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you for that. Continue.
So that one's basically speaking from the heart. So like we were talking about last night before everything happened, we were talking about opening up your heart to more centeredness, opening your energy, getting more heart space, and like what everybody was talking about, the food for the animals, looking more into the animals, the species, the life around us, Mother Earth, Gaia, and finding out, for your heart space of everything that's surrounding you in your life. And that's where Gary, is having more compassion towards life, and he's having a little bit harder time, gathering because he doesn't understand the non-compassion everybody has in life. But he's starting to find out for himself, as for everybody else's. So, and I think that sparks home with a lot of people. There's a lot of non-hearted people out there, and it's people like everybody here who's watching or who's around, who's gonna make the change in life. Time to make the change. And the number on that card was 44. So if that resonates with anybody. If you want me to go ahead with the second one.
Sure.
All right. This one is Kuthimi, and it stayed focused. Stay focused. So stay focused upon your path. And this one is Doreen Virtue, the Ascended Masters. So I know a lot of you don't watch her anymore, but I love her old deck. So
I do too. I have her cards. Yeah.
Their old stuff is amazing. So you drew this card as a reminder to stay focused upon your intentions, your desires, and your priorities. Don't allow yourself to be distracted by short-term situations, dramas, or other people's demands. Keep a positive outlook about your dreams and imagine that they've already manifested into reality. Devote regular amounts of time towards your projects and priorities. Say no to distractions, and you will see the results. So be assertive with your demands upon your time. Keep your promises to yourself. Commit to your priorities. Spend time each day devoted to projects that are dear to your heart. And detoxify your diet to help your mind and to be cleared and focused.
Stay focused. Indeed.
So even though you can go out, so the first card, you can go out and help other people, but make sure you use that time enough to where you're not straining yourself to where you're feeling weak and tired. Make sure that you save enough time for yourself, and you stay focused within your own projects, but then you can still use that little bit of generosity in your heart or whatever you have left to give out. But don't strain yourself to where you're striving just to I need to help these people. Make sure there's a time limit. Make sure time is spread out evenly.
It's like we always say, you can't pour from an empty cup. You got to take care of yourself. And you guys have taught me that's something I definitely learned, is that you gotta take time for your. Like I have two different projects I'm working on. I'm working on doing a PSA for a local animal shelter for free, just for the heck of it, because I like doing it. And I'm getting my music going again, which is like, I wear this T-shirt. Education is important, but playing guitar is important. Or it is to me. It's life. It's what makes me happy. And you guys have taught me I got to follow my bliss, and that's where I'm trying to go.
I can tell you guys the card readings especially the last one, are really doing that nice little wake up call on James thing. So thank you. If I
You
had
got another
cards,
one,
I'd read them
Desiree?
for you.
Oh yeah,
Huh?
I do have one more.
Okay.
Wait, what? What were you saying, James?
Oh, no, I said if I had
You
cards,
resonated.
I'd read them, but I don't have them yet. One day.
Well, I actually set up a site for me to read upon. So if anybody's interested, I'll put my site into the comment thing in here or something. I just made it today. I'm still working on it. I'm gonna do blogs and stuff about life and stuff. But if anybody's interested, I even get them. Even if you can't afford, I'll still work with you. We'll do it for love and light. All right, so this next deck is the final deck that I have is Viking Oracle with the Wisdom of the Ancient Norse by Stacy DeMarco. And it's one of my favorite ones. And it has Thor and Odin and some cool stuff. All right, she just jumped out, and this is Freya. She's number 27 is the number for that. All right, this one's saying birth and death are both part of life. Feminine power is different from different but equal to masculine power. So feminine and masculine power are both equal to each other. You can fight your own battles, choose partners with discernment. Fertility in all forms surrounds you now. Healing in body, mind, and spirit is currently available to you. External beauty is rarely enough. Seek depth and intelligence too. So, and this is basically telling you the picture of the most beautiful warrior woman is standing naked upon the battlefield, hair whipping around her, head high, eyes flashing, weapons bloodied. Between her breasts, a magnificent gold and amber necklace glitters. Despite the death and chaos around her, men cannot keep their eyes from her. They both fear and desire the mighty goddess Freya. So this is basically telling you, spring is upon us, and it's time for you to stay focused upon yourself from the last card. Be generous, but then also balance your positive and negative aspects of your life, your masculine and your feminine sides. That you have to balance both sides in order to be equal. In order to get those messages from your angels, you must ground. So even though something seems so beautiful in life, there's always a dark side. So you can take whatever you need to from this, and if it resonates with you, it resonates.
Awesome. Thank you, Desiree. That's cool that you tied them all together too. Freya is also the reason why we have the word Friday.
Well, every reading I do, I always tie every single card that I have in together. I have 5 different decks plus tons of tarot, and I always mix every single one together. And I always try to come up with a line, they all tie in together somehow within your life. And no matter what, there's always a certain outcome in your life that you need to work upon. Especially with everybody needing to balance this feminine and masculine energy. There's a lot of feminine energy that's pouring out. And a lot of men are feeling very, backed off by this feminine energy that's rising. But at the same time, it's springtime and it's time to mate. It's, the animals are coming out and it's, all the men are like, oh, now they're starting to get excited for this female that's rising in the male energy. So it's just telling you, there's just a lot of deception with looks. So look deeper within, instead of looking what's on the outside, look what's on the inside, because you're going to have to balance those yin and yangs anyways. So, yeah.
My daughter really helped me a lot for the divine feminine, because I always, when my ex-wife was pregnant, people would say, what are you hoping for, a son or a daughter? And I'd say son, like most men. But I inside, I just knew it was going to be a little girl, and it was. And she would, I taught her how to throw a football the right way at a young age. All the stupid little silly things, kind of like a tomboy. But I couldn't love a son, all the sons of the world, as much as I love my daughter. She's the best thing that ever happened. And this is why, one of the many reasons why, because I've learned so much from her. But she showed me that soft side of myself, that childlike side of myself that I haven't seen since I was a kid. She would, on like Sunday evenings when there was Sunday night football at like 8 o'clock, she knew. And right around 8 o'clock, she'd curl up in a little ball on my lap and look at me with her little puppy dog eyes. And in her little angel voice, she'd go, "Daddy, can I stay up and watch a little football with you?" I'm like, "Sure, pumpkin." 5 minutes later, she's running around doing everything other than watching football. And it took me a couple of years to figure it out. But she had me wrapped around her little pinky.
You called yours Pumpkin?
Pumpkin, yes.
That's my daughter's nickname because when I gave birth to mine, I was living in the pumpkin capital of the USA in Morton, Illinois.
Oh yeah, that's one of her many, many nicknames. But she showed me that softer side of myself that I haven't seen within myself since I was a child. And yeah, it's amazing how much we learn from our children. We think that we're teaching them, but they're really teaching us. So yeah, beautiful lesson. They're saying on YouTube, 111 people are watching on YouTube. Great synchronistic number. I want to remind people too, tomorrow I have Adrienne Goff coming on, and she's at 12 o'clock Eastern. That's noon here on the East Coast of the United States. Adrienne Goff is coming on. She's going to be talking about crystals for the chakras. So that's going to be fun. And if you have any questions about crystals, she'll answer them. She is a genius when it comes to crystals. So be sure to check that out tomorrow at noon Eastern. And then on Friday, I've got Tiffany Kiefer coming on. She's going to be talking about twin flames and DNA activation. So that's going to be a fun show. And then and that's at 7 o'clock Friday, 7 p.m. Friday. And then 7:30 p.m. Saturday, I've got Todd Medina from Sology coming on. So lots of going to be busy here on Zoom. So check us out. I'll be posting links for all of those shows on In5D, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Patreon. That'll probably be the first place I post them. So check those out. So does anyone have any other cards they want to read? No. Crickets. All right, let's go back to these signs that you're wired differently. Who else has like adverse reactions to big pharma?
I do.
Yeah.
I have been on many medications and I don't take any of them anymore because they all just got me even screwier or addicted to what they did.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. The side effects especially. Matthew, what about you? You had your hand up. Are you muted? You're muted.
Okay.
I don't know what that's like, muting myself. You're right.
Mercury retrograde.
Yes.
Let's see. I was diagnosed at 4 or 5 with ADHD. Let's just say my mom took me off that medication at around 10 or 11. She just didn't want it for me anymore. And I did great throughout high school. I was in honors classes and everything. I mean, I was always getting in trouble. Seemed like I was getting suspended every other week from school, but they could never figure out how the hell I was getting straight A's in these honors and AP classes though. But, they were, the school system was definitely after me a lot. Let's see. Did okay in college. I mean, I got arrested a couple of times for stupid stuff like a DUI and underage drinking, things like that. But for some reason,
So you just answered the rebel part Okay. Yeah.
Oh
one of the
yeah.
ones-
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
hence another. Even though this time I'm on the opposite end of the law system, of the legal system right now.
Right. Yeah.
I'm always in the legal system, no
Right.
matter what.
Okay.
But I
Continue.
always can get out of it. I always, for some reason, have my way with the law. I don't mean to say that, like, you know, I manipulate people or anything like that, but I have my way with the law. I just do. For some reason, my guides are always with me. I believe it's them working. It's not me. I channel them, I think, sometimes when I'm talking to lawyers and things like that. But for whatever reason, I decided to get on Adderall again on my own terms at 30, when I started working at United as a flight attendant. I think too, because I was diagnosed at 28 with HIV, and I think that had a lot to do with it. And so I was trying to like self-medicate, I think, myself. So I was telling my doctors, oh yeah, I have ADHD. You can look up my charts from like when I was a kid. And when that incident on that flight happened, to where, you know, my awakening started, I mean, for a couple months afterwards, I was on my Adderall, but I mean, it wasn't doing anything for me. It was making things worse. My personality was getting really highly distorted. And even when, like, you know, some doctors say that I have bipolar disease, I don't believe in that shit whatsoever. I don't have bipolar syndrome. But what?
Just curious, are you a Gemini or a? No, you're what are you?
I'm a Leo.
Leo, that's right. That's your fire sign. That's right. I knew that.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
In life path 8s, we usually are very rebellious and things like that too. So, where was I?
I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Oh yeah, bipolar. So my doctors tried to put me on, I mean, all sorts of different types of antidepressants, but I never took to antidepressants. I can't stand them. They make me feel weird. They make me sick. Any kind of medication makes me ill. I mean, even when I have to take antihistamine for my allergies, which was one of them too, I have terrible allergies. And I don't even, I mean, I you may believe or not believe, but I chose not to take my HIV meds anymore. I believe that I don't need them. I believe it's not even a disease. I think people just have an autoimmune deficiency. Some people do. It could be from, just like I said, not being from this planet, but I haven't taken them over in a year. Do I look sick? I mean, really, I mean, they're like, oh my God, you can't stop taking them. You're gonna start getting tons of colds and flus and this and that. I haven't been sick in over a year. The only thing I'm sick with are my allergies. So like even that medication alone, I mean, if you see, there's a lot of lawsuits going on with those types of HIV drugs right now. People are having liver failure, and I believe that virus was either created or it was fear instilled on a bunch of people. It was an attack on my community. I for whatever reason, I don't know, but I believe back in the 80s and early 90s, when everyone was dying, it wasn't the HIV or the AIDS, it was the damn medication they were feeding everybody. I believe that. My mom believes it. My mom never, even when I got diagnosed, my mother was like, don't you take any drugs from those doctors. You're fine. You can handle this. So, you know, I chose, when I went through my awakening, to stop all medication, including something that is supposed to keep me alive.
Kind of like chemo with cancer. It kills more people than probably saves. But
so, you know, I mean, if anybody has an opinion on that, I honestly would like to hear it, because, you know,
I was diagnosed in 2015 with HIV. I was also in a really bad car wreck in 2011 where I had frontal lobe damage. I couldn't retain memory for more than 2 minutes at a time. I broke my spine, so now I have 2 titanium rods in my back. I lacerated my liver. I was in a coma for 2 weeks before they knew if I was going to live or not. Broke all my ribs. anyway, I've been healing since 2011. And then in 2015, I got diagnosed with HIV. And I've gone through a long awakening since 2011. And I feel the same with my HIV meds. And I've been off them since, let's see, January of last year. And I just went and got checked because I still go in and get my viral load checked to make sure, because I'm undetectable and untransmittable. So I can't give it to anybody. And my immune system was not compromised. My blood cell count and everything's fine. My T cells are up. And I feel healthier than I did when I was taking the meds. So, and this is really the first time I've talked about this. So
This is the first time I come out public about this too. I mean, but this is the reason why what Gregg, I want to hear what you have to say, but Gregg, just to go back for a second, this is what my lawsuit consists of, by the way.
Okay.
Discrimination. So anyway, but yeah, so talk about it. I'm happy that
I'm
especially as a
curious what
female,
your
you
blood
don't hear-
types are.
You don't hear too many females coming out about HIV, you know. It's
right.
It's,
Right. You know, and mine was, you know, by shock. And I was never an intravenous drug user. So, you know, I got it from a fiance that was unfaithful. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter how you get it. Everybody subsets what I'm trying to say.
Susceptible, yeah.
Yes. And so, but like I was going to say, is I started looking for alternative ways to boost my immune system. So that means, you know, vegetables, fruits, lots of that, you know, staying with my whiter meats. I changed to like when I do cook with like olive oils, coconut oils, drinking lots of water, meditation, yoga, spirituality. I have crystals, and also medical marijuana. And some of the research that I've been shown is if you take it orally, you digest it through your liver, and then your liver processes it in a way that it sends to your brain a way that it attaches to your immune cells so that they can actually recognize the HIV cells the same as it does the mutated cancer cells. So in the same way you're treating cancer with HIV or cancer with medical marijuana, you can also treat it with THC. But where I'm stuck in my research is for like a 115-pound woman, how much would I have to ingest on a daily basis and how many milligrams? You know, so basically you're going to look for THCA, which is the activated THC. And then you're going to look at your cannabinoids and your different CBDs and stuff in it that are going to work with your immune system and stuff. But that's just one of the natural ways that I'm trying to work with it is diet, meditation, exercise, and just positivity and love. A lot of grounding too during the summer. I'm outside a lot because that shows, you know, you can get the negative ions from the earth that actually helps with the immune system as well. Lots of grounding.
okay.
Time out real quick. There's somebody in the YouTube chat room that's saying it's Moon Rose. She said, try chlorophyll because that virus is man-made and can be cured with immune boosters and also colloidal silver. I don't know if either one of you two have heard of that.
I haven't
But
My
tried
mom
it,
makes
but
me
I've heard
take
of the
colloidal
colloidal
silver all the
silver.
time.
Yeah, but I
buy it
kind
by
of
the
believe
gallon.
that it was definitely man-made as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was an attack on, I don't think just my community. I just think because of how my gay guys are very flirtatious and sexual and things like that. I just think it just transmitted faster in our community, but I
Yeah.
think it was an attack on society overall.
Yes.
It really was.
Well, I was very sexually active and I was bisexual and I was also a dancer. Desiree, I'm from Peoria and I actually worked at club for like ever. Everybody knew me there.
Really?
Yeah. So I worked
Well,
there for
hello.
like 10 years. Hi. So
Yeah, Big Owl's Pulse, or
that's
when it
where I
was
started. I won amateur night there like in
Fantasyland.
98 or
Yeah,
something. I'm like 44, so I've been retired for a while and never could
I retired 2
reintegrate
years
back
ago.
into society, you know, after all this, you know, I've been through a lot, you know.
Yeah.
The dark night of the soul, like we had said the other night, I could have really hit home on that one, but I'm still being really shy.
Leanne and Matthew, what are your blood types?
I'm A negative.
I used to know this.
So I'm wondering if they're targeting specific blood types.
Right. I've
Just
looked
curious.
into that for a while too, and
Yeah.
how, you know, having a negative blood type, how that affects the way we digest things, our microbiomes. A lot of us are lactose intolerant, just a lot of things linked with that. And then also my sister has cerebral palsy that kind of runs in the family. So a lot of genetics and like bioenergetics, which talks about activating your cells, like Bruce Lipton, the gene type thing I've kind of looked into. So when I meditate, I talk to my DNA and my RNA, my codons, telling them to, work to the best of their potential,
Yeah.
that I myself. And I take Epsom salt baths almost every single day. I take an hour-long bath, and that's where I do my meditation and I play healing frequencies. If you listen to some of the healing frequencies, they have some to boost immune system as well.
Okay.
So I hit it from all directions, and every day of my life is therapy. But I'm limber, I'm healthy. My immune system was never compromised, and it's like $14.99, and I think $1,500's like excellent. So
yeah. I mean, for my blood count, my cells were always, the count was always, even when I was on the meds, always between 650 and 700. It seemed like I can never get above 700. But some people just said that some people just have natural low T cell count.
yeah,
And so when I stopped taking them, I think I let it go for about a month and a half before I got blood work done. And now when they say you stop taking them, within a week to 3 weeks, your cells are gonna, it's gonna, your viral load's gonna jump sky high. After a month and a half not taking them, I went and got blood work done. Oh yeah, you're undetectable and all this. And I'm like, what a crock of shit this is,
Yeah, they're like,
crock.
oh, it's not a death sentence anymore. And, the chances of you giving it to anybody is like them winning the lottery and, really just downplaying it. And of course, when I was diagnosed, I freaked out. I thought I was going to die because I hadn't kept up on all of that, since the 90s. I had no clue. And it really scared me. And then when, they first put me on the Atripla, and that made my liver shut down. And I only took that for like 2 months, but within that month, my viral load had went undetectable. So they switched me over to a Genvoya, which is for people with sensitive livers, because like the topic tonight, I'm sensitive to pharmaceuticals. So it was just really affecting me a lot. So they put me on that, and I took that for, I don't know, about a couple of years. But I just go back and I have my viral load checked just to make sure, just to stay safe and stay ahead of things. But as long as everything that I'm working does work, I'm just not gonna, I choose not to.
Yeah, I mean, they can't, and they can't make you take the meds anyway at all. So I mean, one doctor told me, she was an Indian doctor, and when I first got diagnosed, and she's like, it's fine, you don't need to start right away. And like literally, she was actually trying to, at the same time, I'm like, she's a quack, like, what do you mean it's okay? So then I went and got a second opinion. They're like, oh no, you need to take it. And she didn't even want me to take it for like 3, 4, 5 years. Right. But then I went and got a second opinion. They're like, no, you need to get on it right away. Right. So I believe now that I look at it, that Indian doctor probably practices some sort of Buddhism,
right,
some sort of Eastern religion where she knows that you can heal your body. Yeah. And, she's unfortunately working for the system. But I think what she was trying to tell me was, no,
right.
Meditate, do some other things.
Right. Right. And I had a lot of, I was an alcoholic to the point where I had blackouts and stuff in my early 20s into my 30s. And then I quit that. I went through AA and the whole 9 yards with that. But my liver's been pretty much abused. And then I was on over 14 medications, not only for, like depression and anxiety, disorders, but then after the wreck, they had me on muscle relaxers and Norco, pain medications. They had me on 14. I started having seizures. I was dying. I was literally dying, and they were looking at me going, well, we'll just have to up the dose or change it over to this med. And, you know, and I said no, and I took myself off every single thing, and then also on the wreck, it had lacerated my liver. So all that predisposition to it having so much damage, I'd prefer to go as natural as possible.
Cool. Thank you so much for sharing. Especially for a woman, it's really uncommon to hear women talk about it. You know, it's more prevalent. Everybody hears about the gay community. I mean, that's how it is, you know. So thank you so much.
I was in a relationship. I was engaged, and he was a truck driver. You know, it's just one of those things. I mean, that just goes to show you that you can't put people in a box. There is no box. Everybody, you know, at one point in their life or another has to face something, you know, some kind of death or illness or tragedy, you know, and from it we either grow or we succumb to it, you know.
When I have Andy Monks back on, I'm going to ask him about the fruitarian diet and HIV. I'd be curious to see what his opinion would be on that, if it, you know, can overcome that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mary, I noticed that you had a card drawn.
Me?
Yeah, you had some cards there, didn't you?
Yeah, I read them. I read it.
Oh, I thought
Divine
I
timing?
thought you were shuffling and doing another one.
Oh, not now. I'm not. No.
Okay.
No, no.
All right. That's all
No, I
good.
just did the one.
I see we have Michelle Walling with us. Hey,
Yep.
Michelle. I was talking about you earlier when I was saying about people that have constellations on their bodies. We were talking about the 30 signs that you're wired differently than normal people.
Yeah.
Want to talk
Yeah, I
about
have Orion's belt. Orion's belt and with red moles on my thigh, like right where I can see it, and also on my face. I don't know what it means, but yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it's not like Orion's belt is pretty unmistakable. It's not like 3 stars right in a row. It's like 2 stars with one cocked off to the edge, and it matches the pyramids in Giza and some other places as well. So yeah, I just dropped in to say hi and wish everybody well here. And I think it's really cool that you guys have found family that you can, you know, vibrate with and work out some problems. One of the interesting things about the light workers, star seeds here is seems like we all had pretty tough lives except for you, Gregg. I used to always kid Gregg. Like Gregg knows I had a pretty challenging life. I mean, starting from the gate, you know, and overcome a lot of stuff. But Gregg had a pretty good childhood. He had a pretty good life. But everything we set up for, he must have like taken care of a lot of his karma or whatever, and you know, the lives before now, so that he could concentrate on what he's doing. But you guys, you know, you guys have overcome so much just from what I've heard from illnesses and stuff. And myself, I'm going through a really weird deal with my esophagus. It's like very rare, and I can't swallow foods and water and stuff. And then I just got the flu like a week and a half ago. So I can't drink water or eat. I've lost like 40 pounds. And then I got the flu with bronchitis. So I have to sit up, cough, or else I coughed. but I'm getting over the flu, and I've been to the hospital, and we're going to find out soon what they're going to do about my esophagus. But what's most frustrating about everything, about all these sicknesses, about all these illnesses, is that everything is designed to keep our vibration down, period. If we could raise our frequency, we can literally heal anything in our body. We just got to remember how. And I was trying to heal this esophagus thing on my own for like a year, but I just couldn't, you know, I just couldn't. There's a reason for it to happen. And you have to have faith that everything that has happened to you is definitely for a reason, and not always necessarily such a bad thing, such a bad attack, because we needed a lot of friction in this lifetime in order to work through some situations or some energy or some karma or whatever. In the end, it's like, you know, we're going to wake up from a dream. It's all going to be a really bad dream. So, but we have to get rid of certain energies and karma before we can move on to the next level. We have to leave it here. We have to let it all go. So I just wanted to pop in and say hi. I feel you guys that have had struggles and medical issues, and I myself, as awakened and as high consciousness as we may be, doesn't matter if we don't take care of our physical body and keep that vibration high, we're going to suffer. So the most important thing right now is working on yourself and keeping that physical body in good shape and keeping your immune system. Keep your immune system up. When I was sick with this esophageal stuff and I wasn't eating or drinking and keeping my nutrition up, when I went to the hospital, I got the flu. When I went to the hospital for the esophagus, I got the flu because my immune system is compromised. So I feel y'all with the immune system compromised. So take care, everybody. It's really all I want to say, unless you have something.
Well, I sent you a link for the show that I did with Andy Monks, who said that you could overcome that issue that you have with your diet, specifically fruitarian, if you give
I appreciate that, but when you can't eat or drink anything, it's like, might as well be on an IV. It's a miracle that I'm alive. Yeah. There's no reason why my skin should be so subtle. I'm getting younger. There's no reason why my hair should be so glossy. There's no reason why my fingernails just grow like crazy. It's almost as if I'm living off of light.
Well, it's kind of funny that, and not really funny, but when I had that heart attack, it had to happen for a reason, obviously. And it was, I think one of the reasons, many reasons, was to show me that addictions are something that people need to address in this lifetime to purify the body, to cleanse the body. And, that obviously I was a smoker. I was smoking those American spirits thinking, oh yeah, that's the healthy way to go. But, I've been smoke free and haven't had a drink since before the heart attack.
Man, you were partying it down beforehand. We had some good times together.
I liked my
fun. We had some fun, but it's very important. And I don't even necessarily know that fruitarianism would be something that I would be into. Sometimes I need a little meat or chicken or whatever. So
definitely. I'm with you on that. I think it's great for detoxing and for losing weight. But after that, once you detox and get to the weight that you need to be, incorporate meat. I did a show where I was showing this one guy on YouTube who looks like he's on death's door, and he's a fruitarian. He has no muscle mass whatsoever. And I questioned Andy about it, and he's going to talk about that on our next show. But I don't think that, especially me being the triple Libra, it's not the way to go. I go all in one direction. And
yes, you do. But, I think you're finding that middle swing, from the pendulum going so far each way. But it's important to give your body what it needs. And, if you don't, you'll be forced. You'll be forced to stop. And that's what happened with you. That's what happened with me. Yeah. And I'm really glad it happened because, we are enjoying the earthly pleasures. We when we signed up, they probably said, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to go. They got cigarettes and they got booze and they got all this food, everything you could ever imagine. And I tried it all, I did it all. And, but when it comes time to literally lightening up and raising
rock and roll,
rock and roll, raising your frequency though, it's really the most important thing right now is your frequency. And it's not just, there's technology that the ETs used to raise their frequency, but they couldn't get above the higher fourth dimension. It's not just about raising your frequency. It's the refinement of your frequency. And that's what's going to activate your codons in your DNA. And that's what's going to bring your memory back. And pretty soon we're going to get our memories back. We're going to remember what we were doing right before we came here and exactly how to finish raising our frequency and exactly what we need to do. That'll be, pretty much the last step in this. And that's really what I'm waiting for.
So how do you raise your frequency right now?
Excuse me.
Especially with, the flu and, the issues.
I come on and say hi to people like y'all, and I listen to music, and I read, and I still like to go back to my standby Barbara Marciniak's Bringers of the Dawn book and audio tape. And my boyfriend right now is amazing, and he and I are really helping each other raise our frequency. So I'd say, doing things that I love, and I love these salt baths, these Himalayan sea salt baths, and these magnesium baths. And Dr. Scholes or Dr. somebody that has those magnesium salts, they've come out with so many different things that they're added in there. One of them's got hemp, one of them's got coconut oil, and they've got like 10 different things you can add. So
I noticed that. Yeah.
I take a magnesium sea salt bath every day, and I think detoxing these heavy metals is extremely important. And just basically, I think that the only reason I'm hydrated is because I take a bath every day and it comes through my skin. It's amazing. But yeah, I've dropped 40 pounds in 7 months, Greg.
It's amazing.
40.
Wow.
That's how much I haven't been eating. It's
Well,
crazy because me, I'm right there with you when we're munching down on wings, but
Yeah.
not anymore.
Funny, when Michelle left, she still had some clothes here, and she's like, throw them away or give them to Goodwill or whatever, because she doesn't fit into them anymore. I'm like, all right, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I don't need those anymore.
Well, that's
But
good.
I'm feeling better now, better than I have in a long, long time, and about to figure out what they're going to do with the esophagus. But I know it's something. I know it's something other than I don't even think it's stuck energy. I think it's just like I needed to do that to drop the weight and lighten up. I really did, because
Well, it's funny how you often wore lapis lazuli, which is the throat chakra, a necklace, and maybe you were trying to tell yourself ahead of time there's something that's going to happen.
Shit, I don't have any problem talking and speaking my truth and speaking my mind. So I'm not so
that.
sure if I had any blockages or anything in my throat chakra.
Oh, it wasn't about that, but just to alert you that maybe something in the future.
Oh, that something's coming up.
Yeah.
I still believe that there are these AI beings that are trying to keep our frequency down, and it could be tied to that. But I'm trying to manifest a positive timeline where that's not true. So I have to be very careful how I use my words. And I spend a lot of time just doing nothing and thinking of nothing at this point, and just really trying to stay in my little bubble and my little kind of like not in the world. Yeah, in the world, but not of it. Yeah. So, and besides that, I've been sick for 2 weeks too. I guess I manifested that so I could just stay in the house, and I don't know.
Slow down.
I feel for all you guys that are going. I feel for you guys that are all going through, medical stuff. I didn't have any medical insurance. Greg didn't have any medical insurance, but he didn't have any, any like assets or anything that they could go after. So he just got to go to the hospital, and thank goodness they can't really turn anybody down. But I'm just digging into that savings account, writing these checks out, man. It sucks.
Well, let's hope you get through that soon.
I will. And I still think tomorrow morning we could wake up in a new reality. So I don't let it bother me. I don't let it bother me too much.
All right. I'm good with that.
See you guys there.
Bring it on. Thanks, Michelle.
I don't want to take up anybody else's time. I just wanted to say hi.
Okay. Thanks.
See you guys later.
See ya. So we left off on these symptoms. This was the one that you have contact with your spirit guides and guardian angels. Who here has contact with them? Put your hand up. Desiree, tell us about it.
Okay, I'll draw furniture. Hold on.
Hello. Yeah. So my awakening started.
I want to draw a toilet.
Okay. She's gonna draw a toilet. So when I first started seeing my angels was when I was a young girl. I started having really bad dreams about things happening, or like things that were going to happen.
and I would turn around and tell everybody, hey, this is going to happen. And everybody would tell me I'm demonic or, something, happened to me, and they would say, oh, there's something wrong with you. You're, whatever. We'll get you a psychiatrist or whatever for seeing those dreams or having those bad dreams and stuff. So they never believed me. But when I would see my guides, they would the first time I saw the guides was when I got attuned to Reiki. First time Metatron had showed himself to me was 2017 when I was attuned to Reiki. My first level 1 Reiki was when I first seen him. But my whole life I've known I had angels there. But my whole life I knew there was angels there. But they never showed themselves to me until I died. But it's a long story. I'll have to share some other time.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's
She's
all
taking
good.
my attention.
That's okay. It's okay. Leanne, you
But
had your hand up.
angels come to me. Yeah, angels come to me at a certain time when I really, really need them. Like yesterday when I was creating that organ and I posted on my Facebook, like, hey, I was creating an organ and I took pictures of it. And then all of a sudden I look back and I was like, oh my God, there's a huge white feather just laying right on it. So it's like they come to me at certain times in my life where I know there's affirmations happening. And it wasn't just a feather from like a dream catcher or like out of my art box. This was
Right.
like a feather. You look at a feather, there's feathers on top of feather. So, and you can see that. Like, and an angel feather is significant compared to like a feather from a bird. Because
And
the
you're
feather from a
indoors.
bird.
Right. And you're
Huh?
indoors on top of it. You're indoors. So, yeah. It's not like a bird flew over your organ and dropped a feather on it. Right. What color was it?
But it was a white feather. It was white.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's
And it was
definitely
after what we were talking about last night, after all that happened, and I posted a picture. But okay, no, she's okay. She's
Did it wait. Did it set in? Did it set into the organ? Or did
it
you
just about did. I pushed it into it and I took the piece of organ out and I put it on a piece of a mirror and I put it next to my bed.
Okay. Because
so I slept really well last night.
Set in there, to have that extra energy of the feather in there, that'd be completely unique in the organ.
Yeah, it's my angel. Yeah. It was an affirmation for me to keep to myself, but it was also an affirmation to myself that I'm on the right path and creating organ or staying, in this energy field. Good night, James. I hope your headache feels better. Put some peppermint oil on your head. It'll help. But angels come to me a significant area of my life. Hey, I got yellow. Sorry. So I don't know if anybody else has seen or has experienced angels the way I have, but I have actually painted Metatron. So I will have to find the picture and repost it on my Facebook. And I gave the picture to my Reiki teacher. And wow, that's a nice toilet. There's even
Don't hear
brown
that
in
often on chat.
My daughter draws toilets. Yeah. Sorry.
I put brown in it. Toilet.
My God. You're such a goofy goober. But yeah, I even painted the angel. At first he came in as Archangel Michael, then Metatron came in. So there's two significant angels that came in at the time of my awakening when Reiki came into my life. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. I think Leanne also had her hand up.
I'm
I'm still learning all the time, who I can really connect with.
Right.
But I'm also real strong with Archangel Michael and Metatron. Those are two main ones for me. And I believe in all different types of religions and stuff. So, and then also, I believe in like star family and Pleiadians, and connecting with other beings like that. I do know that I've had my astrology done with my birth chart, and I came from Orion, Andromeda, and Orion, Andromeda, and there was one other, were my three main star families. But I also know I have a few guardian angels, like my grandma's come in really strong. I have a Native American grandma, and then I also had another grandma that was just really religious, and she comes through really strong with different smells and stuff. I'm always seeing cardinals. I was also in a relationship and they passed, and I went to an AA meeting and we were talking about them, and the night that, that's where I went for support. And we were talking about pennies from heaven, and I had made a joke because we had a really sense of humor. And I said, he better not leave me pennies. He better jack it up to at least a nickel. And when I went to get in the car, my sponsor was giving me a ride home, and she had she was a clean freak and her car was immaculate. But when I opened that door, there was a nickel on the seat. And I find those all the time. And he's a protector as well. So just, but like if I'm reading tarot or something and I'm trying to get answers and meditating, I kind of just call in who I think might be the most helpful at the time, as long as they're benevolent beings of love and light, and I protect the transmissions. But yeah, I get all kinds of synchronicities and symbols and things that I'm still learning. I get new ones all the time.
That's a sweet story about the nickel.
Yeah.
I love that. That's what
Yeah.
a great. That's why I love this platform, because you hear these amazing stories and just you just got to smile and shake your head and say, yeah, it's not just me. Everyone else is going through stuff like this. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So who else has had contact with their spirit guides and guardian angels? Anyone else who wants to talk about it?
Can I show the photo real quick so you guys can get like some language or some energy healing
Sure.
of my painting? This is the angel that came to me. He didn't show me his body, but he showed me just like a blue being. And then this is when I first awakened to the Reiki. The blue, just the body, it was black at first, and then it turned like a silvery blue, almost like, as you can tell, like with the blue, like silver outline there on the sides there. And then like silvery white and then gray wings. And then when she was telling me, my Reiki teacher was telling me to hold out your hands and ask your angels or guides for a message. And this is what I got. And then he showed me his eyes, and then I started bawling my eyes out. I couldn't stop crying. I was shaking. And then the next minute later, my teacher says, go ahead and open your eyes, guys. And I opened my eyes, and she immediately looked right at me and says, Des, I have a message for you. You're protected.
On YouTube, MK, Mary is saying on YouTube, oh my, I saw that blue guy recently, Desiree. Isn't that something?
Pretty cool. Yeah. With my new website that I posted in the chat room here, it's the third one that's down there. I'm going to do a series of my paintings on there and describe them so that other people can relate, and if they want copies or whatever, they can purchase them for themselves. But I just want everybody to know that this being is here for us, either if it's, a transmutation of a different angel turning into a different angel. Just know that he's here for us, and he's protecting every single person that's here.
I get that message all the time too. And then I also, especially during my near-death experience, I got the, words aren't needed. It was all about energy, and just being an awareness. So those are my two main messages I get a lot from the archangels.
I'm trying. Okay, wait. Let's try this one. Did that work? Yes. Okay, I got that website now. Yeah. And I'll post that link in the chat room.
Yeah, it was the third one down because I was trying to type it in, didn't work, so I had to share it.
Yeah, I figured the first two weren't the ones you were talking about. But I'll put this in the chat room. So anyone that would like to visit Desiree's website, bam, there you go.
All those paintings will be up shortly. Just give me at least a good week to put descriptions in, and then hopefully that way you guys, every single person who's watching this or reading this, or you go to the website here in a week, it will be up, and then you can go back and look at every painting that I have and resonate and meditate with that. That's the reason why I paint, is to get those energies out there for everybody to heal also. My pain is your is your healing process. So, and that's what we're here for.
Indeed.
And I wanted to say, Desiree, thank you. I didn't mean to interrupt you before when you were doing your card reading. I just meant to, I couldn't, it just blew me away. It spoke directly to my heart, and I just was overflowing. I couldn't help it. And secondly, thank you for putting those pictures up, because I am drawn to that elephant painting you showed last night. I mean, that just speaks volumes to me. And I mean, I can envision myself now taking a safari to Africa, because I want to meet the real thing. I want to meet the real creature. But just thank you so much for putting those up. I really appreciate it.
The elephant's name on the painting when I was painting her was called Amazon. So so if you get any energy from her, because the Amazon rainforest, everything that's happening with there, and
that's what I was
animals come to us as angels too. So
the feminine and the masculine energies are mixing, and males, masculines in this incarnation, we're being introduced to feminine energies we're not used to, but we got to recognize them. And just because we're different doesn't mean we can't be equal. And that's the whole thing, it's balance. So thank you for that. Thank you so much.
I'm looking at the YouTube chat right now. If I go like this, Leanne, put your hand up to your right, and make half a heart like that to your right. Turn it around. Face it outwards, though. No, face it like this. What I'm trying to do is see if we can make a heart between our hands on the screens.
Oh.
So just put it like eye high, as high as your eyes right now. Face it outward. Put your thumb out the other way, the opposite direction.
This way or that way?
Yeah. I guess it's not working.
Oh wait, you mean this way? You mean that way?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Put it up by your eyes, eye level, because our eyes are about the same. See if we can. Oh, I gotta go this way. It was me.
That won't work.
Oh, we can't get it. It's close, but we can't get it. Just thought I'd try it. I don't know. Always wanted to do that. That's something the Brady Bunch should have done back in. Seeing how we have the Brady Bunch screen going on right now. Exactly. There's like 9 squares right now on YouTube. We got the Brady Bunch going. It's a story. I don't know. Don't get me singing. I'll have Kim sing. She's got a much better voice.
It's okay.
No?
No.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to these 30 signs. All right. Let's go to, you feel that Earth is not your home. Who feels that way?
Me, my whole life.
Tell us.
No, I'm not in the mood to talk tonight.
Okay.
I love y'all though.
Who else would like to jump in? Who feels like the Earth's not their home? Tell us why. Come on, I saw just about all your hands pop up. Your hands aren't shy.
Okay, Greg, I'll tell my story again.
Okay.
I mean, I grew up in the deep South in Alabama. My entire family talks like this, you know, and please don't make the mistake of thinking just because people down here talk slow, they think slow. No. But anyway, my mom would make a 1-syllable word and turn it into 3 syllables, you know, I mean, that kind of Southern accent. Never had it. I mean, I don't know why. And growing up my entire life here as a little kid, I'd be talking and people say, "Where are you from, boy?" And I'm go, "Here." You know, "Well, you don't sound like you're from here." And it's amazing because, like, when I was in the Army, I had a roommate from Boston, and before you know it, I'm talking about, "Hey, let's go park the car in the garage," you know. And I mean, I'm able to pick up accents really. I just don't know, you know, but I mean, my entire life, I felt like, you know, I was kind of like just not really from where I'm at, you know. Frankly, when I was in Europe, I really felt at home there for some reason. You know, when I was in Germany, I know I've lived a past life in Germany. I did have a flash of it one night. It was kind of interesting. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's just, I think it's something.
So where is your home if it's not Earth?
So anyway, I'll go ahead, somebody.
Where is your home if it's not Earth?
I don't know yet. I took a thing online, and it's not serious. It's a water world. I mean, I know because I'm so drawn. I mean, one of these days, now that I know how to use, hopefully, screen share, I'll show you guys my favorite place on the earth, my thinking spot. But palm trees and islands and the ocean, but on the other hand, the mountains and the desert. I mean, the last time, unfortunately, being diabetic, my vision has deteriorated. My night vision's pretty much gone. I'm a daylight only driver now, but actually my vision's improving. But the last time I saw stars is when I was working with the Border Patrol. They had a Boy Scout troop that was going to go camp out at this old army post that had been abandoned about 1905 out in the desert somewhere in West Texas. I don't know where it was. And we went out there, and I had a camera, and I shot the Border Patrol teaching the Boy Scouts how to track. They call it sign cutting, you know, how to actually track game and animals and things like that. It was a pretty cool thing. But that night, we all sat out under a campfire, and there was no electricity, no power. It was all, you know, no generator, no nothing, and battery power. And the stars came out, and it's like, I swear to God, I thought I could see to infinity. I thought I could see all the way to heaven, you know, just so many stars that night. And unfortunately, that was about the last time I saw them. So, you know, it's a memory, though, that I'll never forget. And I was drawn. I mean, I was like, yeah, that's where I'm from. I'm from up there somewhere. That's where I came from.
There's a knowing, an inner knowing, not necessarily where, but yeah.
I just know, you know, I mean, like, remember when Star Trek came out in the 60s, and it was the first time that, you know, people had ever contemplated seeing actually planets up close from in space, from in orbit, you know, in a television series. And to me, it always felt like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. That's how we're supposed to see planets. And I mean, you know, I was always drawn to, you know, Star Trek and sci-fi, and it led to, you know, things like Edgar Casey and, you know,
Sure.
Atlantis and Chariots of the Gods. And I mean, I was eating this stuff up when I was 8 years old. So, I mean, I know I'm unusual. You know, most kids were out playing ball, and I was reading about Edgar Casey, the sleeping prophet, you know, and reading about his prophecies and, you know, the fact that he can heal people remotely with energy.
Here you go, Gary.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Oh, wow. I like that. Is nice.
It's not even done. It's not even done. It's supposed to be Hawaii or something. No idea.
And when I see things like that, I'm not thinking that looks weird. I'm thinking like that looks familiar. Anybody
This is what I
else?
dream of. And that's the
Anybody else feel
moon.
that way? Of course, we all do, I think. Look at the moon. The only thing I have hanging up in my entire house is I have an art image of the moon, black and white image of the moon hanging over my bed. And it called to me and I had to put it up. So yeah. Wow, I love that.
You're very talented, Desiree.
You really should do a show. I mean, you should sell those. You should make posters, Des. I mean, I would buy them. I'd have them all over my house. Seriously.
I'm just starting out.
Wow.
But when everybody's talking about something, I have something I've painted already, and it's like, wow, I resonate so well with everybody with this.
Is that your little one? Is that your little one there? Oh, she's an angel.
Yeah, she's created over 30 images herself.
Wow.
And we're gonna get her a gallery set up. But when you're talking about like Lumeria time, you know, and water scenes and like Hawaii settings almost like, but then like you see sand and mountains. This is what I see. This is what comes out of my mind.
Yeah.
You know, and the visions I have, and my whole life I was shut in a box. So I'm like, but yeah, I don't, I mean, I'm kind of stuck, but there's a turtle, but you know, yeah, it's all coming along.
I had a most amazing experience with a spirit animal once. I don't think I've even mentioned it to you guys. When I was in the Marshall Islands, I used to go snorkeling a lot because, I mean, we could rent a boat and go snorkeling all day for about $5. It was cheap, you know? And there's a wreck of a German battle cruiser there that capsized during a storm once when they were towing it to the States for target practice. And that wreck is just teeming with every kind of fish that I mean, it's like a symphony of movement and colors around this thing. And I was digging on it and I was snorkeling with my buddy up on the surface. And all of a sudden I felt something brush my right arm and I thought it was my buddy and I just kind of slapped it away. And then all of a sudden, because I was looking to the left and it tickled me again. And I look over and it's a freaking like 15-foot wide manta ray. These are the ones that are the vegetarians. They don't have a stinger. They have the big, open, huge mouth, and they eat plankton. And the freaking thing was just flying right there along with me, you know, and it just blew me away because nothing like that had ever happened to me before. And for a lot of Pacific Island nations, the manta ray has a real spiritual significance. You know, it's a real powerful totem animal. And what my buddy told me, though, was it freaked me out so much that I ran all the way on top of the water back to the boat, you know, screaming the whole way, you know, because I just didn't know what was going on. But it was beautiful.
Your story reminds me of Moana. Have you ever seen Moana?
No.
It's about an island girl. It's about Hawaii, about how Maui, you know, the gods and goddesses, how they created the land of Hawaii. And while she's singing the song, her grandmother passed away and she turned into a manta ray. She had it paid or on her back. I'm sure somebody on the channel is probably like, yeah, I know that movie, because we all have kids, you know, but
the guys who worked at the marina were Marshallese, and when I told them that a manta ray touched me, they told me that I was somehow going to be really lucky. You know, fortune was ahead for me, you know, because that's something that doesn't happen a lot.
It's a really good spiritual sign that you're connected to water.
Yeah, I mean, the only regret in my life is being diabetic is I couldn't scuba dive. You know, they wouldn't certify me, so that's why I snorkeled. But you know, the interesting thing too, Greg, talking about big pharma and everything. In the last 3 weeks, I have managed to kind of turn my diabetes off to the point where I have an app that's estimating my overall long-range blood sugar goal. It's called the A1C. It measures your average over like 3 months, and you're supposed to be below 7. Well, when you know, about 4 weeks ago, I was 9.1. Now tonight I'm 7.7, and I'm heading down like a point every day just by cutting out bread and eating fruits and vegetables mainly. I mean, and my body is just craving fruits and vegetables. I mean, I'm going to have to go get more fruit tomorrow. I got to have more apples and more pears and strawberry. And I got 3 packets of blueberries. I mean, seriously, this stuff works, you know? I mean, you can cure yourself. You really can if you just.
Yeah, my blood sugar went from like 115 down to 86.
Yeah. I mean, like I told you, that March 1st, March 2nd, when it's Monday, I'm going to buy me a blender so I can start doing the fruitarian diet just to do a cleanse and detox, because I can tell the difference, you know?
Yep.
So anyway.
All right, cool.
You guys rock, man.
Go ahead, Mary.
Question.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about, I don't know where I came from, but I do have very vivid dreams about arriving on Earth in a pod. And I call it a pod because it was small, like a 2-seater thing, and it opened, the roof would open, and that's how you got out. So that was very strange. But the other dreams I have a lot is, I was wondering if anyone else has these, of being in a building in a house that's entirely made of crystal and living in that space. And crystals that were made like you would think of stone. So they were formed like stones would be placed one on the other, and even the floor was crystal. The entire place was crystal.
Sounds like an Atlantis dream to me, if I had to guess.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that part, yeah. The other one, I don't know. You got to figure out that
I know.
where your pod came from.
Yeah.
But your other one sounds like Atlantis, because I've had 2 lives there, and yeah, they were huge on crystal technology.
Yeah, I mean, it was beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful, but floor to ceiling, crystal. Nobody else? Hoping somebody else.
What else?
We'll see.
Yeah.
That's it.
Let me see if there's anyone on YouTube. Nope, just you.
That's serious.
Yeah, no, that's good. It makes you, but I like I said, I think it does have a lot to do with Atlantis. So yeah.
That's funny. I've never felt like Atlantis, never. But who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's try this one. You physically see orbs. Anyone here can physically see orbs? Got 1, Matthew. 2, Carol. 3, Dawn. Who wants to speak first? Tell us about it. Oh, and 4, Elena. Elena, you haven't spoken yet. Jump in.
Yeah.
Tell us about your orb.
Yeah. Well, I've been seeing orbs and also sparks and also flashes, like a long line and a shape. I've been seeing orbs, sparks, and flashes, and usually they're blue, purple, and pink. One or the other. One's blue, one's purple, one's pink, different times of day. And sometimes the flashes are also that, but they can be gold and white too. And I know my eyes don't have problems. I got 20/20 vision. So I always have seen these, but certain times, like I've been seeing them a lot more, and then it'll be quiet again. But I know that they feel nice, and I've always got the feeling that they're like Orphim or something, like angelic beings that are orbs. Like they're so happy that they just show up as a light color, and they're these little beings. And what I get from the orbs is that they are beings bringing us healing and pure joy, and that's why they show up as light orbs.
So what you said?
Whatever they
orange,
feel.
Purple, orange, and
Purple,
white?
mostly purple, pink, and blue.
And blue. Okay.
Yeah,
So
purple, pink, and blue.
Stored information. Pink is sensitive, compassionate, affectionate, true love, openness. And I guess it depends on the color of blue. But this one would say,
I see a lot of electric blue I see a lot of electric blue and bright blue, and
Okay.
I see light blue and turquoise too. I always see turquoise too.
Mhm. Yeah, there's an article on N5D that shows you the color of each orb, so you can check that out. Of course, it's in the article, I think, anyway, of those 30 signs that you're wired differently. But that's cool that you actually see them also. It's
I feel
amazing.
them too.
What's
I
that?
always felt things. I always felt things before I saw anything, like
Mhm.
claircognizant
Mhm.
and clairsentient only. And I wished I would be clairvoyant, but really I don't want to be because I don't want to see anything scary. I'm like way too. I've seen already things scary, and I was like, no, take it back, please. I don't want to be clairvoyant. I'll stay claircognizant and clairsentient because I feel them too, and I've always felt them number one. But seeing these flashes, it's definitely in. They're all around us every day. Like we're surrounded. It's crowded outside. It's crowded with beings. You know, low, high, neutral, everything, but a lot more of these beautiful ones that want to share how beautiful they can give us and share it to us. Like they feel the feelings and they try and give it to us by being here while feeling that. And that's what we're supposed to do. Just be here while feeling those high emotions like pure love, unconditional compassion, and stuff like that.
You know,
They're here.
when I smudge, I always say only those of the highest vibration of truth, love, and light are welcome here. So that way you kind of guarantee that the orbs, when they visit you, they are those of the only of the highest vibrations.
I have a thing where I say nothing is allowed here. And I don't know where I didn't ever get that from anywhere. It's just me. It's my, I know a lot of people say other stuff, but my inner self says nothing is allowed here. And then I'll add, if I want something to be allowed, it'll be except me, my higher self, and what's for my highest good. And then sometimes I'll also add, if I'm willing to want to be open, then I'll say my own spirit guides, my own guides, because they freak me out sometimes by accident. And if I see them, they scare me. Like I'll see something, like I saw a big black cat panther, and because it was a black like jaguar or panther or something, I got scared for a second because it was dark, you
Oh
know.
God, that's such a
But
powerful
that was
symbol
one
for
of
the
my
Mayans.
friends.
The Mayans love the jaguar. It's a very, very
Yeah, I remember my Mayan stuff too. My Mayan calendar, I look up the Mayans. I know I love them and feel connected to them for a reason. And the little black jaguar that's tall, he's big, like probably my size, like 100 pounds. He's a big guy. But,
your
you
size,
know,
100 pounds.
yes.
It's not very big.
Dude, he's a big cat and he freaked me out. So I say nothing's allowed here first to number one. And then I'll allow what I feel like I want to allow. Because sometimes I don't even want to receive all these incoming. I have so many incoming messages and energies. And I open myself to it every day, but sometimes I just really don't want to. And I'm like, just nothing's allowed here at all now. Especially when I do my bubble day and night. But I make sure to add, you know, the Great Spirit and my higher self all the time.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yay. So who else did we have? I think Carol. Carol, you had your hand up for Orbs. Tell us about it.
It's been a long time ago, and I was driving home one evening and saw little circles over across the road, and that was it. That, you know, went home, went to my boyfriend's house and told him about it, and he thought that was pretty cool that I saw him. And I think when the local newspaper came out, other people had seen him also. It wasn't just me. And I found out that there was a cemetery, an old cemetery down below where we had all seen him.
What color were they?
I would say white is what I remember, but like I said, it's been 15, 16 years ago.
How did you
Those are
feel when you?
usually angels.
Yes, usually something positive, definitely. How did you feel though when you saw them? Did you feel calm or?
Really calm and excited.
Yeah, yeah, that's sweet. Yay. Well, thank you for sharing as well. Let's see, who else? Dawn and Matthew. You guys had your hands up.
Yeah, I can, I'm not sure. I mean, I think lately I'm seeing definitely the dark ones just because of things that I'm going through, especially dealing with that lawsuit with United Airlines and everything. I've just seen a lot of the bad stuff that's going on in this world. I've been up and close and personal with just a lot of bad energy.
Dryer's done.
Huh?
Your dryer's done.
Yeah.
Is that the noise I heard?
God. Yeah, it is.
Okay. Anyway, continue. What shit you've been through?
Yeah. I've seen it all. I've been in the White House before. When I graduated college, I went to DC for a couple years and I met some guy. We I think dated for like a month, but it was good enough for him to invite me. He used to work in the Bush administration, and this was during President Obama. But I got invited to the White House Pride reception. And so I got to see President Obama and Joe Biden speak in the gold room. And like, I'm just some Joe Schmo, and I just end up in these places. I hung out with some people that worked on Capitol Hill, and I've seen what our politicians are. I mean, from the cocaine use to all that stuff. I mean, all the bad stuff. I've been around it. I've been exposed to it. I've seen people in power, hire strippers, hookers, prostitutes, things like that. The stuff that you see in the movies is absolutely 100% true. I never dabbled with them. They're not my close friends, but I've always been that person who's just like around that stuff. I believe it's part of my awakening too, even when I didn't know I was going through an awakening throughout 10 years, but I think that it's all part of me coming to this point now, realizing that I needed to see the dark. I know Dolores Cannon talks about, in order to understand the light, you need to understand the dark as well. So I've seen it all. Like I said, like being in the White House, I'm just some Joe Schmo off the streets. But lately though, it's kind of like if definitely when I'm out in the sunlight, if I move my eyes around, I can see these they're like tiny though, and they're right up close to my eyes, and they're just floating around. At first I thought it was the glare of like my eyelashes, which I doubt that's the case. And also too, when I look up in the sky, I can almost see what they call maybe that dark matter is like between, space. I don't know. It's almost like I can see the molecules in the air and everything that the air is made up of that we can't see with the naked eye. So I don't know. It's really
I've seen those.
Yeah, you know what
I
I'm
read
talking.
it.
They look
I've
like gas
researched it.
fumes. They look like gas fumes, but that's what it
They
looks
also are like white. They're also like tiny dots that move around, right?
Yes, tiny ones, smaller than like a pea. Yeah.
I know. Well, those are what I see, and a lot of people. I've looked it up. I've done a lot of research about like that and like anything too that I think is weird. But somebody said that those are particles, and a lot of people think they're particles and energies, and then others say they're the veins in our eyes. But the fact that most of them are white and some of them are colors, I think might be actual photons in the light.
Exactly.
And I think
That's
that we're seeing
exactly
them
it. Yep.
filtering down. Yeah. So I see rainbow plasma light, and I see golden white, and I see pink. And different days I'll look at the sunrise and I study it. And that's like what I do with any time, even if I have to work or not, even if I slept 3 hours. I study the air and I sit there and meditate in the sunrise, there's always photons though in the air and light. And I think those are the photons you're seeing. And
Yeah,
we're
that's
seeing,
what I think it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's weird and interesting how they change though with the days and the energies that are coming
Yeah.
in. They're like weird.
Even
Yeah.
at night, you'll see them. What I do is I'll get into this meditative state and just kind of like relax my eyes. Yeah, they're still open, but I'll get into that meditative state and I'll see them flowing horizontally. They're not coming down like that. They've already arrived on our planet somehow, and they're all over the place. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
You'll see
Guess
them.
what? Sometimes
Yeah, they'll just be flowing
they go
horizontally.
flying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
They
sometimes
go
they're not even like,
flying out of me too. If I feel strongly about something, I'll see myself making them move farther towards everything. Like I'll see
yeah.
myself blasting them out. Like, dude, we know what we're doing on a deep inner level, and that's why we're remembering Atlantis. And like, this is also a crystal, and it's from deep down there where the Atlantean and Lemurian crystals are buried. But we're remembering that because we're supposed to move this energy, if not just absorb it, definitely, and use it to help ourselves. But we're moving it no matter what we do. And like when people do light language like this and that, and moving it and taking it, and I'm grabbing it and throwing it up into the air and grabbing them and dropping them, and like, I don't know. Yeah. Like we're transmuting, cleansing, and clearing. And if you see them, I think all of us were supposed to be connecting to them somehow, at least, or noticing them or caring about them. Like just try and be as pure as possible so that you'll be bringing through the most pure possible vibes in your field for everybody and yourself. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Go
think
ahead.
it's just weird too, like just seeing like what the air is made of, because everybody goes outside and you just think that, well, this soda can here is it's space between me and that, but it's like, no, I can see the molecules between that, the photons that make up the hologram effect on this planet. I think I'm starting.
That's what Nikola Tesla found. When I'm tired, I'm like, I'm gonna pull this energy out of the pure unlimited energy that's all around me in the air, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
Nikola Tesla found it because it is those same things. Like he used technology, but we can go like this with our fingers and different mudras, and we will bring that into our system, and you can get energy, or you can balance your energy or relax your energy and calm it and clear it. And this one is really good and going like this to me.
Yeah.
And mudras are really good.
Like I like pointing downwards if I feel like doing a grounding meditation instead of doing this. So like I'm grounding to the earth, things like that. And I can feel it, I can feel that. And I just think, I don't know, I think a lot of us people who are going through awakenings and everything, we've seen so much trauma in our lives. We've seen it all. I mean, gosh, I've seen it all. I mean, for some reason I keep bringing up DC, but like, I mean, that is, that's some bad stuff there. I mean, the people that run this planet are evil. I mean, they are pure evil. I've seen it. I've danced with the devil, if you want to say that. I mean, I've seen it.
I worked in DC for 3 years, man. Mike, you're so right. It's just got such a negative.
I'm getting an EMF right now. That's crazy, Gary. I'm like right now, my whole right ear is ringing. Like really ringing right now. Wow.
So anyway, well, I just played my little Tibetan bowl again, just because it helps me, focus. But I just wanted to comment that yes, man, if people knew what really went on there behind the scenes,
it's bad stuff.
Mean, I was one of the peons. I got to talk to the people who were, the worker bees, the butlers and the guys who brought the chief of naval operations his coffee in the morning, and got to hear his conversation. I mean, yeah, man. Oh yeah, you're so right. If people only knew what goes on in those buildings.
I've been to parties in New York City and Brooklyn and Manhattan, where all the lawyers that we all work for are sniffing coke and all kinds of worse drugs and getting fucked up and like preying on young girls and
Yeah.
everything.
Yep.
Mhm.
I know this guy.
And I wore a suit and they wore a suit, but they were the ones doing it.
Pedophilia
And I
thing,
really
it's
want to
for
get in
real.
that field.
That you know, that
I
child
didn't get
trafficking
in it.
thing. It's right. It's for real. It happens. It's happening now. It's happening in your community right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
Gary,
know.
some bad stuff up there, man. I never will ever wish that upon anybody. I don't want it to ever live in that area ever again.
When I moved, the day I drove out of DC for good, it was like a dark cloud.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. I 2 years of really bad darkness there for me. 2 years of, I mean, I hung out with this guy who's a lobbyist. He's worth $100 million and he's married to a woman and used to take me and my ex up to New York City, and he would cheat on her with men and all that and put us up in the Four Seasons. And like, he left me and my ex there for like a weekend. He like came up for a little bit. We got the hotel bill and he's like, don't worry, Lanny will pay for it. $38,000 we racked up in 2 days. And I'm just like, you know, I've seen it. And now that I think about it, I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's pure evil.
And we're paying for that. We're financing that shit with our taxes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, so I feel bad, you know, everybody forgive me for dancing with the devil back then, but like, I mean, I was 25, right, fresh out of college. So it was like glamorous to me. I was like, oh yeah, this is fun. And, you know, he's taking us shopping on Fifth Avenue and Prada and buying us wallets and shoes. And I'm 25 years old, fresh out of college. I mean, of course, you know, I didn't know back then. I didn't know, you know, and now that I look back, I'm like, I'm kind of glad I had exposure to that just because I just know how evil it is. It's evil. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, they all work together behind the scenes. I've seen it. I've been to senators' houses. I've seen it. I've seen the log cabin Republicans. They're all bad people. All of them. Every single one of them. They're freaking evil, bad energy.
If you look at the ley lines too of Washington, there's a lot of shit going on in the ley lines. Also, you look at the neighboring states, you have Virginia and Maryland. Not by coincidence, they are named Virginia and Maryland. It's the Virgin Mary, Virginia, Maryland. Getting back to what we were talking about the photons in the chat room, Mandy and Mary were also saying that they see those photons too. So it's not just us here on Zoom. So yeah, that is pretty cool.
I envy you folks. I don't see them yet, but I mean, I'm getting there. You know, I think the old souls like me, you know, we're just getting there by learning and with, you know, having gone through a lot of stuff. But you guys are incarnating, already awake, you know, and it's awesome. It's what's going to save this place and move us all forward.
So I want to remind everyone that tomorrow I'm going to be interviewing Adrienne Goff at 12 o'clock Eastern. So be sure you check that out. If you have any questions about crystals, she's the one. And we're going to be talking about crystals for the chakras. So that's going to be a great conversation. And then on Friday, I've got Tiffany Kiefer coming on, who's going to be talking about twin flames and DNA activation at 7 p.m. Tomorrow's at noon, 12 p.m. Eastern. Friday with Tiffany's at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then, or I'm sorry, Friday, yeah. And then on Saturday, I've got Sology's Todd Medina coming in at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So be sure you tune into that. I just want to wrap things up here and thank everyone once again for joining us here on another incredible spirit chat where we just learned so much from each other. Had some amazing card readings today from everyone. I want to thank everyone that joined us on YouTube as well as here on Zoom. Excuse me. I want to thank everyone who's joined us on Patreon as well. Thank you for your support on Patreon and on n5d.net through the purchases of any of these beautiful tie-dye shirts. So if you want to show your support, check us out at n5d.net or at patreon.com/n5d. So we're going to leave it up there. I'll be back in 13 hours tomorrow with Adrian. So that's why we're kind of wrapping it up early. But in 13 hours, we will be back. So join us then. Until then, I'm sending you all infinite love and light. I love you all.
Love you too. Thank
Nama-
you.
Namaste, family.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Bye.